Chapter 972. After all, this is a university library, not a small place like a high school. The books inside are divided into different categories, and the bookshelves are row after row. Li Fan took a look and couldn't count the end of it. So big. He can't help but praise it. It's really awesome. The books here are probably no less than 1,000,000. In this era where electronic libraries were prevalent, having such a library really made people a little happy in their hearts. Li Fan found the category of wuxia and went straight to it. Most of the books here are masterpieces of Jin Yong and Gu Long. Although Li Fan hasn't read their books, he has watched a lot of TV series. The Smiling, Proud Wanderer. Sounds good. Li Fan picked up a hardcover copy of The Smiling, Proud Wanderer and briefly flipped through it. Seeing Jin Yong's description of his junior sister Yu Lingshan, Li Fan liked it a little. Especially the way Master Jin Yong created Linghu Chong at the beginning. Li Fan also liked it very much. In the novel, Linghu Chong didn't appear at the beginning, but through the dialogue of many characters, he outlined such a character. Everyone's view is different. Finally, Linghu Chong appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Li Fan heard from his former Chinese teacher that when Jin Yong wrote The Smiling, Proud Wanderer, he wanted to write Lin Pingji as the protagonist at the beginning. But later, he felt that Lin Pingji had nothing but revenge, so he changed his mind and created a real hero character, Linghu Chong. Speaking of which, this Wang Zui is very similar to Yu Buchuan. Li Fan thought for a moment and changed his mind. No, he should be more like Dongfang Bubi. Fortunately, he doesn't have the strength of Dongfang Bubi. When Li Fan was talking to himself, he was suddenly hit by someone. He was rooted under his feet, motionless. But the other party was directly knocked down and sat on the ground. Ouch! She screamed. It seemed that the fall was not light. Hey, why is it? Li Fan was about to speak, but the other party suddenly jumped up regardless of her pain and covered Li Fan's mouth. Shoo! She gestured for them to be quiet, then pulled Li Fan and turned around so that Li Fan was on top of her, pretending to kiss him. Shin-chin. Shin-chin, where are you? Take a photo with us, Shin-chin. A group of students rushed past them, no one paying attention to the couple kissing passionately. After they left, Shin-chin finally heaved a sigh of relief and stole a glance to the side. Miss Shin, are you done playing the rogue? Li Fan's voice rang in her ears. Shin-chin then remembered that there was a man with her. She screamed and pushed Li Fan away. Yo, are you burning the bridge after crossing the river? Li Fan looked at Shin-chin with a smile. You just took advantage of me. Bah! Who would take advantage of you? You are not a gentleman at all. How will there be girls who will like you in the future? Shin-chin spat, but Li Fan pricked up his ears. They're back. Quick, put your arms around me. Shin-chin also heard the noise of the crowd. They were approaching. She became nervous and hurriedly said to Li Fan. How can I do that? I can't take advantage of you. Li Fan emphasized, I have to learn to be a gentleman, so that no girls will like me in the future. I'll introduce you to a girl. Shin-chin heard the footsteps getting closer and closer. She became more and more flustered. She had no time to say anything else and could only take the initiative. She stepped forward and hugged Li Fan tightly, letting him block her. A group of people ran over. Where did Shin-chin go? Maybe she went out. Let's go outside and look for her. The noise of the crowd faded away again. Finally gone, Shin-chin breathed a sigh of relief and leaned into Li Fan's arms. Her expression relaxed. I can't even come to the library. Even wearing a mask is useless, since you don't want to attract attention. Why did you become a star? Li Fan asked. Humph, this lady was born to be a star. Shen Chen pushed Li Fan away, crossed her arms, and laughed proudly. This matter of being the center of attention was destined before this lady was born. In that case, your throat won't be damaged. Hey, if you say that again, I'll be angry. Shen Chen was like an angry little tiger, glaring at Li Fan. You said it yourself. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. Didn't you say you don't care? That's to comfort Lu Wan. What else can I do? Do you think I'll cry when Wan mentions it? Shen Chen pouted. It's not that I want my throat to be damaged. God must be jealous of this lady's beauty and talent. How did your throat get damaged? Tell me about it. Li Fan asked. I don't know. There was one time when I came back from a concert, and it was damaged. Shen Chen sighed. I used to protect my throat. Maybe it's really destined. Well, isn't it much easier to be an ordinary person than a star? Li Fan opened the smiling, proud wanderer. If I have to choose, I'd rather be a paladin than a star. You don't understand. Do you know how many people are willing to sacrifice everything for fame and fame? Shen Chen curled her lips. In the entertainment circle, I've seen so many people degenerate. What about our Mr. Shen? Have you ever degenerated? Me? How could I? I was born with a good voice, and I'm destined to be famous. Shen Chen was proud again. You won't understand this feeling, you ordinary person. Yeah, I'm just an ordinary person, so. Li Fan was about to speak, when he saw Lu Wan run in, panting, and directly rushed to Li Fan. Shen Chen is here too. I'll talk to you later. Let's talk about you first. Lu Wan held Shen Chen's shoulder with one hand, panting heavily. Senior sister, what's wrong? Li Fan gently patted Lu Wan's back twice, and Lu Wan immediately felt a warm energy flowing into her body, and the feeling of her lungs bursting was relieved a lot. Lu Wan was a little surprised, but she quickly put it aside and turned to look at Li Fan. Li Fan, tell me, did the department report you? How did you know? Li Fan was a little surprised. The news spread too fast in this school, right? I'm the publicity director of the student union, why can't I know? Lu Wan was a little angry. Li Fan, tell me, did Zhanghua send someone to make trouble for you? It's okay, don't worry. How can I not worry? Chapter 973. How could I not be worried? Lu Wan seemed to be a little angry. Li Fan, you're a good kid, don't hide it from your senior sister, hurry up and tell me. Senior sister, I'm not a kid anymore, this kind of small matter, I can handle it. Li Fan said, moreover, you can't do anything about this. If you go to find Zhanghua, he will only be angry, and then he will go even further, looking for trouble with my roommates. Actually, it doesn't matter if you look for me, I'm not afraid of him. Lu Wan may not believe it, but Shen Chen knew that Li Fan was definitely not trying to coax her. Even Boss Ma was afraid of Li Fan. Although Zhanggua's family background was strong, he was just a second generation, he could not do anything to a powerful super rogue like Li Fan. Yes, super rogue, this word was right to describe Li Fan. No, I can't let this matter go like this. Lu Wan was choking with anger. That guy, he's too much. How could he do this? Forget it, Wan I think this super rogue is right. Super rogue. Li Fan raised his eyebrows. He's right. Shen Chen lowered her head. How could she accidentally say what was on her mind? This matter is not something you can handle, don't bother, just let them handle it themselves. Seeing that Shen Chen was on his side, Li Fan temporarily forgave her. This is a school after all, that Zhanghua, no matter how powerful he is, he won't dare to make too much noise. Sigh, you don't know him. Lu Wan let out a long sigh. When I heard about this today, I hurried to find Li Fan. But I couldn't get through to Li Fan's phone, so I went to his dormitory. They said he was in the library. Li Fan looked at his phone. There was no signal. This library was really safe. Why are you looking for me? Do you still want to eat the sushi from yesterday? What sushi? I'll help you. Lu Wan thought for a moment. We'll talk about the sushi next time. This time let's talk about you first. Zhang Guo was a very narrow-minded person. If you provoke him, even if he smiles at you in front of you, he will definitely send someone to mess with you behind your back. This is Zhang Guo. I've known him for a long time, and it's because he's become like this that I slowly drifted away from him. You want to distance yourself from him, but he doesn't want to distance himself from you. Shen Chen looked at Lu Wanner, then looked at Li Fan. That's right, I have an idea. What method? Lu Wanner hurriedly asked. Tell Li Fan to find a girlfriend as soon as possible. This way, Zhang Guo will know that his heart is not on you, and maybe he will ignore him. Li Fan rolled his eyes. What kind of lousy idea was that? Only Shen Chen could think of this. Will this work? Lu Wanner also began to ponder. What if my heart falls on senior sister? Li Fan deliberately teased. Go, don't mess around. That's right, your senior is mine. No one can take her away from me. The two girls reprimanded Li Fan together. Li Fan could only shrug his shoulders. Then, do the two of you have any other good ideas? If not, I'm going back. There's no need to hold a mobilization meeting tomorrow. I want to take advantage of today's free time to walk around. My method is still the most feasible. Shen Chen grabbed Li Fan. Why are you leaving? Listen to me honestly. I'm not a commodity. How can I agree to casually give me a girl? Whether the girl agrees or not is the most important thing. Shen Chen rolled her eyes at Li Fan. Wanner, do you have any girlfriends in your dormitory who can help you? No, they all have boyfriends. Lu Wanner shook her head repeatedly. Girls like me who don't have a boyfriend are probably very rare, right? That's true. The people around me are the same. Even if it's those celebrities, they won't help me. Well, if it's not Jessica, can you stop teasing me, big sister? Li Fan was startled. That Jessica is almost 40 years old and you want her to be my girlfriend? Are you crazy? I was just saying. I didn't really mean to introduce her to you. Shen Chen quickly waved her hand. If it doesn't work, then this lady can only do it myself. Don't tease me, how can you? Lu Wanner quickly pulled Shen Chen. You are Shen Chen. Big shot Shen Chen. All over the country, there are so many pairs of eyes staring at you. You dare to find a boyfriend. What's wrong with that? I happen to be lacking in scandals recently. Shen Chen laughed. A celebrity without scandals is not considered a celebrity. Oh my god, you're going to be in the headlines. No, I won't be in the headlines if I don't cheat. Shen Chen looked indifferent. Besides, I'm a young and lively girl. There's no problem with my sexual orientation. Is it wrong to like boys? If it's an ordinary girl, of course it's right. Lu Wanner emphasized, but you're not an ordinary girl. You better get rid of this idea. In any case, I think it's pretty good. Shen Chen said and pulled Li Fan. Tomorrow night is the school's freshman welcoming party. I promise to sing a song on stage. At that time, I'll pull you up and announce this matter. Quickly spare me. Li Fan bluntly refused. You're going to announce that I'm your boyfriend? Oh my god, do you want me to live the rest of my life in misery? Stop messing around, okay? What nonsense are you talking about? Why can't this lady be your girlfriend? This lady has sacrificed so much and you're still not happy. When Shin-Chen heard this, she was immediately unconvinced. You're quite wronged. Why don't you think about it? You're big shot Shen and you're saying that I'm your boyfriend. In the future at school, I'll definitely be unable to do anything. Li Fan immediately reprimanded Shin-Chen. At that time, countless men will hate me to death. The media will also trample on my dormitory door. I still want to enjoy my university life. Don't disturb my life. You bastard. Shin-Chen was furious. You're not even afraid of provoking Boss Ma and Zhanghua, but now you're afraid that I'll be your girlfriend and disturb your life. I didn't say anything wrong. Li Fan snorted. What Boss Ma, what Zhanghua, I don't care about them. But the media behind you, Big Shot Shin, makes me want to keep it a secret. The media, the government, and so on. Li Fan now had a big headache. If he could avoid provoking them, he would absolutely stay far away. Li Fan. You're very good, you have guts. Shin-Chen angrily pointed at Li Fan, her voice trembling a little. I've always had guts. Li Fan was too lazy to pay attention to her. This little girl was too arrogant. Senior Shaowan, I still have something to do, so I'll leave first. You don't have to worry about Zhanggua's matter for me. I definitely have a way to solve it. After Li Fan finished speaking, he no longer paid attention to these two beautiful senior sisters and turned to leave. Chapter 974. Early in the morning, Li Fan woke up, picked up a few of his sleeping roommates, and began to wash up. The mobilization meeting was held in the morning, and all the school leaders were there. A group of school leaders sat under umbrellas and lectured the students who were standing on the field and basking in the sun. Sometimes, the school leaders would speak, and sometimes, the tutor would come up to say a few words. Li Fan was drowsy from listening to them. He simply closed his eyes and stood on the field to adjust the aura in his body. Originally, Li Fan's body had the strength of 9.5 dragons. However, after 2 months of seclusion, the strength in his body had improved once again. He was already at the strength of 10 dragons, stepping on the threshold of this generation's Grandmaster. The reason why he had not become a Grandmaster yet was because his martial strength was not enough. He had to have the same level of mental state. Muronging once told him that to practice martial arts, one must first train the heart. Without a strong heart, all martial strength would be empty talk. Muronging was strong because she had the heart of a true powerhouse. However, it was a little difficult for Li Fan because his inner demon was too strong. No matter how strong he was, his inner demons were equally strong. The two offset each other, causing Li Fan's strength to grow slower and slower. Moreover, it was difficult for his mental state to grow. As his strength increased, the inner demon's bewitchment became stronger and stronger. Even now, Li Fan could still hear Mr. Yang's noisy voice as he stood there. Too long-winded. I'll just kill them. This inner demon was too hot-tempered. Li Fan turned his head and saw Xiang standing at the side, holding his phone with both hands and playing some game. What are you playing? Li Fan was also impressed by Xiang. He could still play games in this state. Honor of Kings, a game I just discovered. Xiang seemed to be obsessed with MOBA games. Even if he was standing and playing, he wanted to be a human dog. You're also amazing. You can even play this. Li Fan could not help but give him a thumbs up. A real summoner dares to face any difficult environment. This small problem is nothing. Xiang was the most courageous at this time. He charged forward in the game's battlefield without the slightest bit of hesitation or embarrassment. Warrior, you are indeed a warrior. No, I'm a summoner. I rely on my brain, not my strength. The direction was immediately emphasized. Li Fan felt rather helpless. Xiangdong's words made it seem as though he was a simple-minded warrior with well-developed limbs. There will be a welcome party tonight. Our seniors from G University will be performing for everyone. After the counselor finished speaking, the office director came up again and announced some matters. At the end of the meeting, he announced, the gala will start at 8:00 in the evening. It will be held in the auditorium. Every new student must come. We can't let the school down. Do you understand? Got it. There were only a few voices below. Although the welcoming party was not bad, many students felt uncomfortable when the school said so. Great. Remember to show the spirit of our G University students. Lastly, let me add a few more words. The office director added a lot of information, and Li Fan was drowsy. Finally, when Xiangdong went from a stubborn bronze to a platinum, the meeting came to an end. Fuck, I got Wu Zetian. Xiangdong exclaimed. At the same time, there was a round of applause. Damn it, it's finally over. Zhao Yingjun couldn't stand still anymore. He sat down on the flower bed at the side. This group of people is too long-winded. Isn't that so? They are still sitting and talking, and we are supposed to stand and listen. Wang Yang was also unhappy. This group of leaders are all fucking grandsons. Alright, don't complain anymore. Other than feeling a little sleepy, Li Fan's body was still in good shape. Not to mention standing and listening, even if he had to squat for a day, it wouldn't be a problem for him. For a qualified martial artist, this was nothing. Let's have lunch together. Who is going to the gala tonight? Li Fan asked. All of us have to go. Xiangdong was extremely helpless. He complained without raising his head. The school is too much, how can they force students to go to a gala? Right now, Xiangdong was able to speak freely with them. However, when facing the young girls, he still couldn't say a single word. If we don't go, the school won't be able to back down. Wang Yang stood up from Zhao Yingjun's side. He patted the dust off his butt. Alright, let's hurry and have lunch. If we are late, there won't be any good food in the cafeteria. Look at all of you with a long face. It's as if the school owes you. Zhao Yingjun sang praises for the gala. This freshman gala is so good. I especially like it. At that time, there will definitely be a lot of beautiful female juniors. I can help you guys find a few. Don't pull it off. I already have a girlfriend. Xiangdong also has a child marriage. Wang Yang curled his lips. Why don't you help me introduce some? What are you afraid of? We are all in another city. Distant water can't quench present thirst. Zhao Yingjun laughed. If it's up to me, you guys should find one in our school. Look at how many girls there are in our school. If you don't find one, it will be a waste of resources. Anyway, our home is far away. It won't delay or affect us. Get lost. You brat, you're full of bad ideas. Wang Yang patted Zhao Yingjun. Don't say those useless things. Let me tell you. I, Wang Yang, am a chaste person. Even if I go to the gala tonight, I will just casually attend. I will definitely not look at any girl. Time flashed by. At 8:00 in the evening, Wang Yang, wearing a clean suit and a small red tie, walked into the auditorium with Li Fan and the others. Lao Air, do you think I'm dressed well? Wang Yang kept asking. Big bro, you've already asked me 8 times on the way here. Li Fan was helpless. Didn't you say that you will just casually attend tonight? You will definitely not look at any other girl. Yes, but as a man, I have to dress more fashionably, right? But I will only dress more fashionably. I will definitely not look at other girls. As soon as Wang Yang finished speaking, he immediately pointed at a girl. Fuck, look at that girl. Her butt is really perky. From a physiognomy point of view, she will definitely give birth to a son. What fucking physiognomy? Li Fan was completely speechless. Alright, second bro, don't talk about big bro tonight, we are here to hunt. Zhao Yingjun was dressed awkwardly in formal attire, and he was holding a rose that he had plucked from God knows where. Second bro, I know you are not good at dealing with women. Today, as your third bro, I will teach you what it means to be an expert in the field of love. Zhao Yingjun said as he held the rose in his mouth and winked at Li Fan. Fuck your grandpa. Don't disgust us. I'm going to vomit. Wang Yang gave him a slap. Chapter 975. But that girl's butt is quite perky. The few of them followed the beauty as they walked. Zhao Yingjun couldn't help but mutter. Maybe she's just a back-view killer. Fong Xiang said without raising his head while playing with his phone. Our family's old four is amazing. He even knows how to judge a woman's appearance. Zhao Yingjun clapped his hands, this is progress. Old four, I see that you have high potential. Why don't you learn from your third brother? Let me tell you, don't look at your third brother's ugly face. I'm not a fool. I don't want to, Fong Xiang directly rejected, I'm not the same as big brother, my stance is not firm, pay. How am I not firm? I only have my girlfriend in my heart. Heaven and earth can testify. This Wang Yang immediately defended himself, aren't I also forced to come to the evening party? I was thinking, since I'm already here, I might as well take the opportunity to look at her physiognomy. It can be considered as learning. I realize that you guys are quite powerful, Li Fan finally couldn't help but speak. Right? Today you finally know how powerful Big Brother is. Wang Yang was very satisfied. It seems that Li Fan has finally come to his senses. And, at least you're quite good at being thick-skinned. What year is that girl? Zhao Yingjun was focused on the girl. Stop looking. What's the use of just having a perky butt? Maybe she's really a back-view killer. Wang Yang was depressed by Li Fan's words. Now, he took the opportunity to reprimand Zhao Yingjun. That's true. This woman, the more beautiful her back view is, the uglier her front view is. Zhao Yingjun acted like an experienced driver, let me tell you, I'm the one who suffered from it. But I feel that she might be an exception. Li Fan gave a different opinion. For a beauty, Li Fan felt that he had more right to speak. This beauty not only has a beautiful back view, but she also has a confident demeanor. This could be seen from the way she walks. Forget it. You're definitely guessing wrong. Wang Yang didn't believe Li Fan. That's right, second brother. Your experience is definitely not as much as mine. Zhao Yingjun also expressed his objection. How about this, let's make a bet. Li Fan was bored anyway, so he suggested, let's bet on breakfast for 3 days. I say she's a beauty. I'll bet with you for a week. Wang Yang patted his chest. He's definitely ugly. I'm sorry, second brother. This time, I'll stand on big brother's side. Zhao Yingjun grinned and said, if I lose, I'll be in charge of your breakfast, and I'll be in charge of your morning drinks for a week. Alright, let's bet then. Li Fan made the decision. How do I make the beauty turn back? Wang Yang asked. Leave it to me. As Zhao Yingjun spoke, he took out a pen from his pocket and threw it on the ground. Then, he took a few steps forward and patted the shoulder of the girl in front of him. Student, did you drop this pen? When the girl turned around, Zhao Yingjun was stunned. Then, he sucked in a breath of cold air. A beauty, a top-grade beauty. Wang Yang was also taken aback. This kind of exquisite beauty was not inferior to Lu Wan'er. There's such a beautiful girl in school. Xiang Xiaolong couldn't help but raise his head to take a look. As an insulator to women, when he saw the other party, he was also stunned. Sorry, it's not mine. The girl said softly, however, the way you chase girls is too old-fashioned. Why don't you take off your shoes and throw them on the ground, then ask me? This familiar voice, this familiar way of speaking, caused Li Fan to be stunned. When the girl raised her head and saw Li Fan, she wasn't surprised at all. Instead, she smiled sweetly. Isn't that right, my ex-boyfriend? What? Everyone was shocked, and Zhao Yingjun almost ate his own finger. What did this girl call his second brother? Ex-boyfriend. Fuck, such an exquisite girl is my second brother's ex-girlfriend. Lin Yuechisin. Why are you here? Li Fan finally regained his senses and asked. Why can't I be here? Lin Yuechisin pointed at the school badge on her chest. I'm an English department student. We're in the same year. What a coincidence. You scored 738. You came to this school. Why, I have a scholarship. Lin Yuechisin said lightly, and the environment here is not bad. And I like the climate in the south. The north. It's too dry. My skin isn't good. Li Fan didn't know what to say, while Zhao Yingjun was looking at him with envy and jealousy. Second brother, you, quickly introduce us. This is Lin Yuechisin. My high school classmate. Li Fan hesitated for a moment, but still introduced, my ex-girlfriend. These are my university roommates, Wang Yang, Zhao Yingjun, Xiang Xiaolong. It's really your ex-girlfriend. Fuck. Wang Yang couldn't help but cry out. What's wrong? I'm also very outstanding. Li Fan rolled his eyes. What's with your tone? That's right, our Li Fan is indeed very outstanding. Lin Yuechisin walked over confidently and extended her hand to Zhao Yingjun and the others. Let's get to know each other. I'm Lin Yuechisin, a woman who was abandoned. Now, I'm trying to pursue my ex-boyfriend. Lin Yuechisin's words made Li Fan dumbfounded. What should he do? Oh my god, is our second brother blind? Zhao Yingjun slapped his thigh and said, such a beautiful girlfriend actually broke up. Don't talk nonsense if you don't know. Li Fan glared at Zhao Yingjun. Yeah, it's not his fault. It's all my fault. Lin Yuechisin immediately said, that's why I want to get him back. It's okay, we'll help you. Wang Yang patted his chest, taking over this matter. I can tell from your physiognomy that you're a good girl. However, the physiognomy that you're in love with isn't very good, full of twists and turns. How about this, sister, since we know each other, I'll help you read your fortune and think of a way to resolve it. How about it? Oh. You know physiognomy. Lin Yuechisin smiled, hands behind her back, slightly tilting her head. That cuteness could kill in a second. Then can you help me read it? Little girl, your physiognomy carries a heroic spirit. From the direction of your eyes, I can tell that you're as stubborn as a man. This should be a general's physiognomy, belonging to a man, but you have it. You've never admitted defeat since you were young, right? And then, your financial physiognomy is not bad, but the official physiognomy is the best. Looking at your earlobes, you're definitely going to be an official. Looks like I'll have to be an official in the future. The only thing that's lacking is love, it's too miserable. Wang Yang pointed at a small mole on the corner of Lin Yuechisin's mouth. Just this mole is destined to make you miserable for the rest of your life. But I have a way to resolve it. I can help you turn misfortune into blessing. Wait a minute, how about I also read your fortune? Lin Yuhsin winked at Wang Yang. Chapter 976. You can also read physiognomy. Wang Yang was a little surprised. A little. How about letting me try? Lin Yuhsin's request was something most people couldn't refuse. After all, she was a great beauty. Her lethality to men was obvious. All right, then you can try. Let me see how good your physiognomy is. Wang Yang was very confident in physiognomy. He had a look as if he could guide the country. Your physiognomy is not bad, but there's nothing outstanding about it. Lin Yuhsin looked at Wang Yang seriously and said slowly, so, you're destined to be an ordinary person. This. Wang Yang had asked his master to read his physiognomy, and his master said the same thing. This Li Fan's ex-girlfriend is so good at reading physiognomy. Moreover, from your luck with women, you already have a girlfriend. The two of you are not in the same city, right? Li Fan, did you tell her? Don't mess around. We haven't seen each other for a long time. Li Fan rolled his eyes. Where would I go to talk to her about these things? Strange. What else did you see? Wang Yang continued to ask. Your luck with money is not very good. You're very greedy for small money, but because you pay too much attention to small money, you've missed out on big money. Lin Yuhsin lightly shook her head and said, if you want to solve this predicament, you should open your eyes and look at money in the long term. Wang Yang was a little dumbfounded. This was too accurate. How is it? Am I right? Lin Yuhsin smiled and looked at Wang Yang. Wang Yang gave her a thumbs up. Accurate, you're really accurate. Let me ask, your master is? Freud. Wang Yang was completely stunned. Alright, she didn't read your physiognomy. She analyzed your physiognomy and other characteristics. So amazing. Wang Yang was stunned by Lin Yuhsin's words. He didn't dare to believe what Lin Yuhsin said. Isn't this too legendary? I said you're an ordinary person because you always like to look around, and there's a serious lack of confidence in your eyes. It's very difficult for a person who isn't confident to have any great development. Lin Yuhsin said, also, you have a couple's phone necklace on your phone, but your girlfriend isn't by your side at this kind of party, which means that you two are in a long-distance relationship. As for you being greedy for money, the pen that Zhao Yingjun dropped just now was secretly kept by you, right? Damn, I was wondering where the pen went. Zhao Yingjun suddenly understood. Big brother, you won't even let go of a pen. I think you've misunderstood me. Wang Yang coughed twice. You broke the pen. I just wanted to help you fix it. But, I'll take it as you're right. These are just some psychological tricks. How do they compare to your physiognomy? Cough. Wang Yang was coughing so much that Li Fan was worried about his throat. Well, as expected of second bro's ex-girlfriend. You're amazing. I'm convinced. Thanks for letting me win. Lin Yuhsin cupped her hands at Wang Yang. Well, since we've met, let's go to the party together. Zhao Yingjun felt that the situation was a bit awkward. He quickly eased the atmosphere, clapped his hands, and suggested, it's fate that we met. How about we join in the fun? I'm fine with it. I'm just afraid that you'll bother me. How could that be? Such a beautiful woman, only a fool would bother you. Isn't that right, second bro? Yes, you're all right. Li Fan was also helpless. These guys in the dormitory were all simple-minded. Wang Yang had been tricked like this, yet they were still willing to go along with Lin Yuhsin. They simply didn't learn their lesson. Why else would they say that women were amazing, playing these guys in circles? I wonder if there's anything new at the party. Zhao Yingjun muttered, if there's only singing and dancing, then it's boring. Then what else do you want? Wang Yang rolled his eyes. Why don't you let the seniors give birth to a child for you? That's fine too. Zhao Yingjun laughed, then said shamelessly, I'll start a live stream and I'll be famous. Famous your sister. Wang Yang rolled his eyes at Zhao Yingjun. I can't guarantee anything else, but you'll definitely be shockingly ugly. Bro, isn't that too much of a blow? Hurry up and take a piss and look at yourself. Fuck, I'm a Casanova. I'll woo a girl tonight and show you. Didn't you want to woo Lu Wan her? I'll find someone to practice with first. I'll show you what it means to be the #1 Casanova in G University. Zhao Yingjun's face was full of confidence, but when he looked at Lin Yuhsin, he seemed to be a little angry. It seemed that calling him the #1 Casanova was a little wrong. Second bro had such a beautiful ex-girlfriend. And from the looks of it, his ex-girlfriend was trying to throw herself at him. Second bro was too infuriating. If he had such a beautiful girlfriend, he would definitely treat her well. Being able to have such a beautiful girl was practically a blessing from his ancestors' graves. Along the way, Lin Yuhsin attracted the attention of many boys. This beauty was now the English department's belle. Wherever she went, she was naturally the center of attention. Incidentally, the guys from dormitory 505 also basked in the limelight and received a lot of attention. Sigh, it's good to have beautiful girls. Wang Yang could not help but sigh. Don't worry, there'll be many beautiful girls tonight. Zhao Yingjun looked at the beautiful girls in the auditorium and could not help but rub his hands together, a wretched smile on his face. The party soon began, and Zhao Yingjun was still a little excited. I heard that Shin Chen is going to sing tonight. That's great, a live concert. This is a privilege for us G University students. Some of the students around them were discussing in low voices, obviously very excited. Lin Yuhsin sat on the right side of Li Fan. The two of them watched the show while whispering to each other. Lin Yuhsin. You're making me very embarrassed. Li Fan lowered his voice and pretended to watch the show while telling Lin Yuhsin, moreover, with your grades, you can go to the best school. I feel guilty that you're here. Your guilt has long since been bursting, Mr. Li. Lin Yuhsin did not look at Li Fan and whispered to him. As for which school I go to, that's my freedom. It's not up to you, so there's no need to feel guilty. Does Auntie hate me to death? Li Fan continued, this is tantamount to me tricking her daughter. Why do you care about my mother's matter? Lin Yuhsin rolled her eyes, you obviously can't even control me. This. Li Fan felt that he was powerless to refute. This woman, whoever argued with her would be making life difficult for himself. In short, this time, I won't give up. Lin Yuhsin suddenly looked at Li Fan's eyes and said. Chapter 977. Li Fan did not know how to persuade her. At this moment, Zhao Yingjun, who was sitting at the side, suddenly whistled and applauded. The crowd that had been quiet all this while also cheered. Their voices surged like waves, shocking Li Fan. What was going on? Li Fan looked to the front and saw a familiar young lady on stage. Shin Chen was wearing a beautiful violet evening gown. She stood on the stage with a smile on her face and waved to all the students in front of her, which was also the audience. Shin Chen. Shin Chen. Shin Chen. Everyone shouted at the same time. They were all calling out the same person's name, and that was the superstar, Shin Chen. Although he knew that Shin Chen was quite popular, sitting here and watching her directly, Li Fan could only feel the extent of her popularity. There were so many enthusiastic audience members, but Shin Chen's voice was broken. Would she really be fine singing? Li Fan suddenly thought of something. Could Shin Chen be lip-syncing? This kind of thing did not seem to be rare in China. It did not matter if she was lip-syncing. As long as Shin Chen stood here, these people would be happy, and crazy. Dear students, I am very happy to be able to meet you here as a student of G University. When Shin Chen was on stage, she looked kind and amiable. One could not see her usual willfulness at all. Thank you all for coming to listen to me sing. I am really touched. First, let me present you with my best song, Where Has Youth Gone? Shin Chen opened her mouth and slowly sang in the dazzling music. This melodious voice made Li Fan feel a little intoxicated. If Shin Chen's voice was not broken, her voice should be like this. Sometimes, Li Fan even wondered if this girl knew how to use demonic sounds to fill one's brain. How could she sing such a beautiful voice? The heavens were truly miraculous, creating so many special people. Shin Chen, Shin Chen. Shin Chen, we love you. When Shin Chen was singing, no one made a sound. Everyone quietly enjoyed her music. But after she finished singing, the cheers around her rose and fell again. Shin Chen bowed to everyone, and the cheers below became even stronger. Thank you, everyone, for liking me. Here, I have one more thing to announce. Shin Chen's expression seemed very serious, and the students immediately quietened down. What was wrong with Shin Chen? Why was he suddenly so serious? Can the lighting technician cooperate with me? Shin Chen looked at the audience and said, "Shine the light on the fourth row, in the middle." A cone of light suddenly fell down and hit the audience. Li Fan sat there, his whole body lit up. At this moment, everyone's eyes fell on him. Li Fan was startled. He had a bad feeling. Lin Yuhsin, who was sitting next to Li Fan, seemed to sense something as well. Almost subconsciously, she reached out and grabbed Li Fan's hand. I want to announce that from today onwards, the boy sitting there is my boyfriend. Shin Chen's words caused an uproar. Who was Shin Chen? A popular female celebrity. A pure and flawless girl. But she actually announced that she was in love. And it was with a boy from their school. At this moment, despair, collapse, and jealousy were rising and falling in the audience. Don't, Shin Chen. Shin Chen, we love you. How is he better than us? A group of men wailed incessantly, while Shin Chen stood there with the corner of her mouth slightly raised. She seemed to be a little proud. Zhao Yingjun and the others were also dumbfounded. Li Fan, who was in the same dormitory, an ordinary university student. How did he become the boyfriend of the superstar Shin Chen? The last time they ate, the two of them were not in this kind of relationship, right? What the hell was going on? Let's go. Li Fan's scalp was about to explode. He grabbed Lin Yuhsin and walked outside. Li Fan, you're not allowed to leave. Seeing Li Fan pulling another beautiful girl away, Shin Chen suddenly became angry. This man actually wanted to reject her in public, reject her, the destined one. What a joke. Shin Chen, Li Fan originally wanted to scold her. This girl, she was simply too willful. With her doing this, his university life was completely messed up. But in front of so many people, Li Fan was too embarrassed to scold her. He did not even dare to make any excessive reactions, lest he agitated the media who were sitting around taking photos. The promise of being low-key seemed to be far away from him in an instant. This time, he really deserved to die. Li Fan, you can't run away. Shin held the microphone and pointed at Li Fan with one hand. I wrote this song for you. Listen carefully. As Shin said that, she began to lip sync into the microphone. A good song played, but Li Fan did not feel anything when he heard it. Outsiders could not see it, but Li Fan could see it clearly. Shin was lip syncing, and sometimes there were some slight mistakes. She was just messing around, making fun of him. This made Li Fan even more annoyed. Listening to the various angry curses around him, as well as the pleas for Shin, Li Fan felt extremely chaotic. If this went on, the scene seemed to be out of control. Li Fan raised his head and saw the chandelier hanging above his head. He secretly pressed down with 2 fingers and used his true energy on the chandelier. The crystal chandelier immediately fell from the ceiling and fell to the ground. The broken glass flew everywhere, causing the crowd to scream. Taking advantage of the chaos, Li Fan immediately pulled Lin Yuhsin and ran away. The 2 of them ran out of the auditorium and stopped in front of the fountain in the girls' dormitory. Oh my god! This is really exciting. Lin Yuhsin did not have Li Fan's stamina. She gasped for breath, wiped the cold sweat on her forehead, and angrily looked at Li Fan. Good, you've only been in school for a few days, and you've already won over the big star, Shin. Li Fan, why didn't I see it at the beginning? You're a hidden super lover. Listening to Lin Yuhsin's sarcastic voice, Li Fan frowned. It's not the first day you met me, am I that kind of person? Shin wanted to tease me, that's why she made such a scene. Li Fan explained, I'm also a dog, the beginning of this university life is too wonderful. Li Fan, don't you understand? Lin Yuhsin grabbed Li Fan's arm, you're destined to be different from ordinary people. If you don't find a girlfriend, the peach blossom calamity around you will be endless. You see, you're missing someone to guard the harem, right? Why are you the same as her? Do I look like someone who cares about being in love? Li Fan clasped his hands behind his back, stood there, and looked up at the night sky. I haven't accomplished my great cause, how can I be bothered by personal affairs? Chapter 978. Before he could enter the pugilistic world, Li Fan would never think about relationships. Don't think that way. How about this, I can be very tolerant. Lin Yuhsin blinked. I'll allow you to have a harem, how about that? You can find another sister. We'll have a threesome with you. Ha! Li Fan's eyes widened. Still not enough. Then 3 is fine too. 4 of us can even play mahjong together occasionally. Stop fooling around. 5. 7. My highest limit is 7. Lin Yuhsin made a 7 gesture. What the? Do you think this is the Calabash brothers saving their grandfather? Li Fan rolled his eyes. Stop fooling around, you're making me very annoyed. Alright, then I won't disturb you anymore. Lin Yuhsin pouted and turned to leave quietly. Sigh. Li Fan suddenly called out to Lin Yuhsin. What's the matter? Lin Yuhsin turned her head and looked at Li Fan with a pitiful look in her big, watery eyes. That. We're classmates in the same school. Congratulations on getting into G University, I'll treat you to a meal. Sure. Lin Yuhsin cheered up again. This girl really changed her attitude like flipping a book. What should we eat? I've just come to school and I'm not very familiar with the area. Lin Yuhsin felt a little regretful. I don't know what to eat. How about this, you decide, I'll eat anything. The lass seemed to be a little excited, her speech was also disorganized. Just as she said, when she met Li Fan, her rhythm was all messed up. How about some ramen? Sure, I'll be happy to eat anything with you. Lin Yuhsin took the initiative to hold Li Fan's arm and walked along the path towards the outside of the school. The two of them seemed to have returned to their high school days, when they would go home together from school. Lin Yuhsin wished that the journey would be longer and that time would be slower. But there were some things that had changed. He's there. The exclusive is mine. A group of reporters desperately rushed towards Li Fan. Fuck, let's go. As Li Fan spoke, he hugged Lin Yuhsin, causing Lin Yuhsin to cry out in surprise. But it didn't seem to be the first time. Lin Yuhsin quickly calmed down and lay in Li Fan's arms obediently. We're leaving. As Li Fan spoke, he used his qigong and directly leaped into the grass behind him. Li Fan's speed was extremely fast. The reporters only saw a flash of black light before they lost sight of Li Fan. Damn it, where did he go? Exclusive. The exclusivity is gone. The group of reporters wailed unceasingly. Let's search, we might be able to find it. All right. Quickly search. The reporters began to search the surroundings. At this moment, Li Fan was already standing in front of the ramen restaurant at the school's entrance. Li San, you're here again. Abe Ching came out from the kitchen and personally received Li Fan. You can busy yourself in the kitchen. There's no need for you to come out every time I come. Li Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You're making me look like a distinguished guest. You're my distinguished guest. Abe Ching said without hesitation, it's my honor for you to come here for a meal. All right, just give me 2 bowls of ramen. Not eating the volcano hot pot. It's too troublesome. We can eat when there's a lot of people. Today, it's just the 2 of us, so we'll just eat casually. Li Fan laughed, I'm here to taste your ramen, don't fool me. Don't worry, my pufferbone ramen is the best in the island. It will definitely satisfy you. As Abe Ching spoke, he eagerly went to the kitchen to personally make ramen for Li Fan. Who is this island person? Why is he so respectful to you? Lin Yuhsin could not help but ask. His name is Abe Ching, a member of the Abe family. With Lin Yuhsin, he could casually chat about these things. He could talk about the things in his heart and guide his heart. Now that the Abe family is having a hard time, he came to the mainland to do business. You're quite tolerant, why didn't you kill him? Lin Yuhsin looked at Li Fan and asked. That's an interesting question. Li Fan poured a cup of barley tea for the 2 of them. I'm a martial artist, not a killer. Compared to killing, I prefer fighting. As long as I can be stronger than others, I'm happy. I can't understand you martial artists. Lin Yuhsin shook her head, indicating that she didn't understand. Martial artists are indeed a group of strange fellows. Li Fan smiled, there are many people who are stranger than me. I won't refute that. Lin Yuhsin sighed, I really wonder if you martial artists don't need to find a partner. Why are you still talking about this? Li Fan slowly took a sip of the barley tea, don't tell me that other than finding a partner, there's nothing else to do in life. Humph, how many people are pursuing this miss, but this miss doesn't like them. Only you, I don't know what's wrong, but I just don't want to let go. Lin Yuhsin looked at Li Fan and said very seriously, I don't know how many times I've told myself, let go, it's impossible with you. You're just a person floating in the sky, high and far, untouchable. But my reason can't win over my feelings. Li Fan, I've always studied psychology, but why can't people control their feelings? Why do I seem to be in high demand? Li Fan was also very strange, Yu, Lu Xinan, Muronging, and Luo Xuewu. Imperial concubine Zhou, all of them are forcing me to be your boyfriend. What's so good about me? In my opinion, this is your love calamity. Lin Yuhsin teased Li Fan, "Oh right, isn't that Wang Yang in your dormitory good at fortune-telling? Let him help you and turn misfortune into blessing. Let's not talk about whether that quack is accurate or not, even if he is, let him do the fortune-telling, I'll lose 3 to 500. You're still lacking 3 to 500. What a joke, many a little makes a mickle." Li Fan emphasized, "It's not easy for me to earn every penny, so I have to be careful with it. You're the same as that Wang Yang in your dormitory, stingy." "Hey! How can you say that? I'm treating you to dinner today." Just as Li Fan's voice fell, Apeching had already come over with 2 steaming bowls of ramen. "Boss, is there a 20% discount today?" "We agreed on it." "Of course, if you spend here, there will be a 20% discount." Okay, that's fine." Seeing Lin Yuhsin roll her eyes, Li Fan hurriedly said, "My principle is not to owe favors. But you must get the discount you deserve." Yes, whatever you say is reasonable." Lin Yuhsin picked up her chopsticks, "It smells good, I'm starting." Just as Lin Yuhsin was about to eat, Li Fan suddenly looked out of the window, one of his hands filled with true energy. Chapter 979. Lin Yuhsin was very familiar with Li Fan. Seeing him like this, she knew that something had happened. "What's wrong?" Li Fan looked out of the window and shook his head. "Nothing. Maybe I'm too nervous." "Did the reporters catch up?" Lin Yuhsin asked. "No, I felt the aura of an expert just now, but it disappeared in the blink of an eye." Li Fan didn't know if it was an illusion, but he felt uneasy. The moment he felt the expert, he released his vital qi to search for traces of him. However, after releasing his vital qi, he found nothing. It seemed that he had been too sensitive. "Do you want to go out and take a look?" "No need. Let's eat the noodles." Li Fan let his guard down and continued to eat his noodles. On the roof of a building 100 meters away, a few figures were standing there. "As expected of my third brother. He's really powerful. He even sensed us." Jiang Feng nodded. His face was covered by a mask and his expression couldn't be seen. However, his voice was full of praise. Beside him, there were 6 swordsmen in black robes with huge swords on their backs. Each of them also wore a mask that covered their faces. They only painted their masks black, which made them look like ghosts. "How are your preparations?" Jiang Feng asked without even turning his head. "Everything is ready." The leader of the swordsmen cupped his hands and said, "As long as you give the order, we will kill this person immediately. He's not a small figure." "Do you have the ability to kill him?" Jiang Feng asked unhurriedly. "We, together with you, can naturally kill him." The leader of the swordsmen said without hesitation, "We are elites trained by the master himself. The 6 of us are a team and we practice the hexagonal sword formation. Unless Li Fan is an immortal, he won't be able to escape from this sword formation. I'll depend on you then." "When do we make our move?" the swordsman asked. "Let's wait a little longer." Jiang Feng didn't dare to get close to Li Fan. He could feel that Li Fan was more alert now. "All right, we await your instructions." The 6 of them were waiting for Jiang Feng's next instruction. Jiang Feng was very patient. He was waiting for the best opportunity to kill Li Fan. After Li Fan treated Lin Yuhsin to a bowl of ramen, the 2 of them started to walk towards the school's dormitory. "Tomorrow is the military training. Remember to put on some sunscreen." As Lin Yuhsin spoke, she took out a bottle of sunscreen from her bag and stuffed it into Li Fan's hand. "I knew you wouldn't buy it, so I bought it for you." "I'm fine. Guys don't need sunscreen." Li Fan was a typical male chauvinist in this regard. Bah, who said guys can't use sunscreen? Lin Yuhsin rolled her eyes at Li Fan. Guys are human too. They need to take care of their skin. I'm a martial practitioner. Is the skin of a martial practitioner made of iron? Lin Yuhsin was a little angry. Do you think it's unnecessary for me to buy these things? No, no. Of course not. Then I'll keep it. You can't just keep it. You have to apply it every day. Lin Yuhsin kept reminding Li Fan. Don't forget. Look at your skin now. It's not good. As she spoke, Lin Yuhsin touched Li Fan's hand. It was very rough. When Li Fan went through bone marrow cleansing, his body looked brand new. But after a period of training and fighting, his skin became as rough as before. Just like in many martial arts novels, it was said that after an expert went through bone marrow cleansing, his skin would be better than a girl's. It was indeed like this at the beginning. Because when one went through bone marrow cleansing, the body's muscles were as tender as a newborn baby. But after a period of training, it was impossible to maintain this kind of tender skin. A person's skin would continue to become rough with training. This was an irreversible process. Unless it was like Wang Xing, who practiced a kind of evil martial art to make himself look like a girl. Li Fan did not want to practice Wang Xing's martial art. Too scary. Head eunuch Wang Xing. Li Fan admired him to death. Other than those people in Yu Buchuan's novels, Wang Xing was the first person in reality who could cut that thing to practice martial arts. Li Fan did not want to experience this kind of feeling. Although he wholeheartedly practiced martial arts, it did not mean that Li Fan was not interested in girls. Actually, the girls Li Fan had a good impression of. Maybe men were born to be fickle. But like he said, his main focus was not on this. Before he stabilized his career, Li Fan would not consider marriage or even a relationship. Just send me here. Lin Yuhsin stood in front of the girls' dormitory, looking at Li Fan. Her eyes were a little reluctant. Seeing that Li Fan was about to leave, she suddenly said. Don't you want to go up and sit? It's too late. Li Fan looked at his phone. It's already 8 o'clock. I won't go up, lest I get scolded by your dormitory auntie. AI. How about we go out and live? Lin Yuhsin winked at Li Fan. I'm afraid you won't be used to living in the dormitory. I'm used to it. Thank you for your concern. Li Fan was also very helpless. Lin Yuhsin, this girl, was too mischievous. Humph, forget it if you don't want to. Anyway, I've given you the opportunity. Lin Yuhsin curled her lips, turned her head and ignored Li Fan, turned around and went upstairs. Li Fan looked at her. Not to mention, this girl's butt was a lot more perky. Guys, you've been following me for half a day. It's time to come out and meet us. Li Fan walked to a secluded little forest and finally stopped, then opened his mouth to ask. As expected of the little tyrant, Li Fan. We hid so well, but you still found us. 6 figures suddenly descended from the sky and landed beside Li Fan. These 6 were the swordsmen from the black market. Each of them had a black sword on their back, and they surrounded Li Fan in the middle. People from the black market. Looking at their attire, Li Fan already understood. You're working for that old pervert, Murong Bo? Li Fan, let's cut the crap. Today is the day you die. The 6 swordsmen from the black market extended their right hands together, and the true qi in their bodies was activated. Even Li Fan was shocked. What a strong inner strength. Being guided by their inner strength, the black swords on their backs immediately unsheathed. Driven by their true qi, they shot towards Li Fan from 6 directions. Good timing. Li Fan praised, then extended his hands and used his true qi to control the 6 swords. However, the 6 swordsmen activated their swords and started spinning, continuously tearing apart Li Fan's true qi. Li Fan was a little surprised. As expected, they were from Murong Bo. This was the modified version of the gold and silver swordsman's sword technique. The 6 swords finally broke free from Li Fan's control and shot towards his body. Chapter 980. These 6 swordsmen seemed to be of one mind. With the few of them gathered together, they forcefully created a flying sword formation. If Li Fan had not reached the realm of 10 dragons, dealing with this sword formation would have been a problem. Crane hand. Li Fan stood there, both of his hands continuously striking the flying swords. There were clearly 6 swords, but they were unable to break through the defense of Li Fan's hands. As expected of the little overlord, the ordinary hexagonal swords seemed to be unable to deal with you. The leader of the swordsmen praised, "All of you have it, yin-yang dual swords." Yes. The other 5 swordsmen took a step back and recalled their black swords. Then, they poked the mechanism on the top. A white sword immediately appeared on top of the black sword. The 2 swords danced together and attacked Li Fan from the left and right. The hexagonal sword formation had now doubled, and Li Fan actually found it hard to block it. He crossed his arms, and the Great War God appeared behind him. The Great War God transformed into 6 arms, and continuously used crane hand to knock away the surrounding swords. The hexagonal sword formation, yin-yang dual swords, black and white constantly alternated, and specifically attacked Li Fan's weak spot. But Li Fan stood there, unmoved. He controlled the Great War God and used crane hand to counterattack. "It's useless, you can't win against us." The leader of the swordsmen was very confident, die obediently. With that, the 6 white swords suddenly descended from the sky, and with a peculiar formation, they fell towards Li Fan. Bang! Li Fan's Great War God knocked away the 6 swords, but the 6 black swords flew from the side, and like a locking formation, they stabbed Li Fan and the Great War God in the center. The 6 swords floated there, releasing a unique sword qi, which actually caused Li Fan to be unable to move. And the 6 swords seemed to be guiding the true qi in Li Fan's body, causing his true qi to pour out in torrents. What's going on? Li Fan felt himself getting weaker and weaker. The 6 swords seemed to be constantly releasing his true qi into the surroundings, like a flood. This is the God sealing sword. The leading swordsman laughed. "Even if you are a Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal, you will not be able to escape from this hexagonal sword array today." Li Fan did not expect the hexagonal sword formation to have such an ability. He was actually suppressed just like that. Li Fan's War God couldn't be maintained any longer and dissipated just like that. As for the other 6 white swords, they descended from the sky once again, using a special array formation to descend upon Li Fan. Li Fan could already sense the malevolence of the power within. Starnet Power Art. Li Fan's eyes widened. He couldn't use the 7 heroes' force for the time being, so he could only use the kung fu of the God connecting meridian. As soon as Li Fan activated the Star Luo Divine technique, the true energy in his body uncontrollably displayed a special effect. The life force of the entire campus began to gather into Li Fan's body. He faced the sky and roared. Ha! The 6 treasured swords were immediately blown away. However, at this moment, a figure appeared behind Li Fan, holding a black sword in his hand. "I've been waiting for this moment." He stabbed the black sword directly at Li Fan's back. At this moment, Li Fan had just finished switching to the God connecting meridian and released the lion's roar. His body was still in a state of stiffness. Jiang Feng had calculated very well. With this move, Li Fan wouldn't be able to block it at all. Pfft! Li Fan dodged in an instant, but the sword still pierced through Li Fan's body and came out from the front. A red light flashed in Li Fan's eyes. The 7 demon kings almost exploded. However, he suppressed it at the critical moment. If the inner demons went berserk, the entire G University would probably be razed to the ground by him. Under the state of the star power art, Li Fan couldn't use the moves of his 7 heroes fist. However, he could still use some rough fighting methods. Scram! The true chi in Li Fan's body suddenly exploded, setting off a small storm that battered the surroundings and sent Jiang Feng flying. You want to kill me? Dream on. One of Li Fan's eyes had already turned red. He stretched out his right hand, and a green star vortex appeared on his hand. The surrounding objects were all moved towards his right hand. The 6 swordsmen were also affected. Their treasured swords were somewhat out of control and flew towards Li Fan. Hexagonal sword formation. The 6 swordsmen once again activated the sword formation. 6 black swords stabbed towards Li Fan from below. A powerful force guided Li Fan's power and poured it out once again. This hexagonal sword formation was very strange. Even though Li Fan had activated the star power art, he actually couldn't completely resist the pouring power. He soon felt weak again. Jiang Feng raised his treasured sword and approached Li Fan. Goodbye, little tyrant. Jiang Feng's sword was surrounded by a huge sword chi. He was prepared to cut off Li Fan's head. However, at this moment, a black blade appeared in the sky and directly pounced towards the hexagonal sword formation. The 6 swordsmen felt that something was wrong and immediately dodged. Pooh! The blade cut a long ravine on the ground. Jiang Feng also stopped in his tracks. We have helpers. The moment the hexagonal sword formation dispersed, Li Fan's star power art was activated once again. The few of them also began to absorb their power towards Li Fan's body. The time has passed. Let's retreat. Jiang Feng was very rational. He immediately brought the 6 swordsmen from the Black Manor and used his movement technique to quickly leave this place. If they missed their target, they would retreat 1,000 miles away. Jiang Feng knew what he meant. He retreated without hesitation and waited for the next opportunity to kill him. Yushi stood on the roof of a building far away. Looking at Li Fan, who was half kneeling on the ground, she sighed softly. That lord had already ordered that they were not to interfere in Li Fan's matters. This is the last time I'll help you. Li Fan, good luck. We'll meet again. Yushi turned around. Her long black robe fluttered in the night wind. Under the cover of the night, she disappeared into the G University campus. Second brother, you're back. When Li Fan returned to the dormitory, the others were all there. Wang Yang was lying on the upper bunk, studying the Book of Changes. Zhao Yingjun was fiddling with his phone, shaking it vigorously. Meanwhile, Xiang was still sitting in front of the computer, playing LOL. He was in the middle of a fierce battle. I'll go take a shower. Li Fan was covered in dust. He plunged into the bathroom at the side. Why is second brother acting so weird? He must have quarreled with his ex-girlfriend. Women are really troublesome. While the few people outside were discussing, Li Fan stood in the bathroom, bathing himself with hot water. However, he felt very depressed. The hexagonal sword formation actually defeated him. Although he had underestimated his enemy in the beginning, the existence of the hexagonal sword formation was a little too abnormal. It could actually dissipate his power. That was too terrifying. That's because your power is not complete. Mr. Yang stood in front of Li Fan, looked at him, and said with a smile. Chapter 981. I'm very annoyed. Don't bother me. Li Fan was in a bad mood and yelled at Mr. Yang. "I'm your most loyal partner." Mr. Yang expressed his grievance. "When you were at your lowest and weakest, I was always by your side, wasn't it?" This seemed to be the truth, but Li Fan still felt a bit uncomfortable listening to it. "Li Fan, if you want to become stronger, you must accept my strength." "No, it should be said that you must accept your own strength. Don't talk nonsense. I won't have the power of the inner demon." Li Fan sneered. "Don't even think about bewitching me. You still don't understand. The inner demon is a part of you." Mr. Yang reminded Li Fan, "Do you want to betray yourself? Rejecting the inner demon is rejecting a part of your strength. How can an incomplete you become the strongest?" "What you said seems to make some sense." Li Fan seemed to understand something. He immediately sat cross-legged in the bathroom, crossed his arms, and entered his visualization world. The world was still divided into two, from the middle. Half was light, and the other half was darkness. Li Fan looked at the huge warriors standing in the two worlds. He looked at them and had some special thoughts in his mind. In Kung Fu, just like the old urchin who invented the left and right mutual combat, there was a method called doing two things at once. Let the left hand draw a square, and the right hand draw a circle. This matter sounded simple, but it was extremely difficult to put into practice. Li Fan once did it. He let himself and the great god of war attack each other, but it was also an accidental improvisation. This was like giving himself a program command. If he wanted to break through the blockade of his brain, it was not something that could be done with just a few words. "Come on, who's afraid of who?" Li Fan made up his mind and then tried to let the two warriors slowly leave his world and gather in the middle. But he couldn't achieve the perfect state. Either the dragon god would take one more step, or the 7 demon kings would take 2 steps faster. If he couldn't reach the middle boundary at the same time, his experiment would definitely fail. Fuck, Li Fan was a little depressed. What should he do? But at this time, Mr. Yang stood beside him and looked at him. "Have you forgotten about me?" Li Fan had a flash of inspiration. "Right, since I still have a schizophrenic Mr. Yang, can I rely on him to achieve the most perfect integration? Help me control the 7 demon kings. Beg me. Forget it if you don't want to do it. I admire your stubbornness. Alright, since we're on the same side, I'll help you." As Mr. Yang spoke, he snapped his fingers. The 7 demon kings moved again and slowly lifted one foot. "Alright, I'll come too." Li Fan was a little excited. He controlled the divine dragon general to keep pace with the 7 demon kings and walked towards the middle boundary. The 2 huge figures slowly approached each other. Then, in the middle, the 2 of them stretched out their hands and collided in the air. Bang! The palms of the 2 giants collided, and the power of their bodies began to fuse together. At this moment, Li Fan himself also trembled. The God-connecting meridian in his body seemed to have split open, and the power inside was released crazily to the surroundings. The God-connecting meridian was melting, swimming in all of Li Fan's meridians like a liquid. Li Fan's body emitted a dazzling golden light. If he hadn't stayed in the bathroom, he would have definitely shocked the other people in the dormitory. The Star Luo power and the 7 heroes force were fusing together. The 2 powers in Li Fan's body were constantly blending, and the bodies of the 7 demon kings and the divine dragon general were also fusing together. At this moment, Li Fan seemed to hear countless wails and roars. Anger, jealousy, regret, killing. All kinds of negative emotions appeared in Li Fan's body at the same time. Li Fan felt like he was surrounded by evil thoughts. If this continued, he might really not be able to control himself and turn into a demon. However, the inner demon was a part of him. If he didn't learn to accept it, he wouldn't become complete. He had to accept the inner demon, and at the same time, he had to let the inner demon accept him. Everyone had a dark side in their body, and he had to make the dark parts submit to him. Li Fan's 7 heroes force suddenly began to exert force, but once the 7 heroes force was too strong, the star Luo power would weaken, and the 7 demon kings would also be suppressed. This wouldn't work. It seemed that he had to maintain the same rhythm. Li Fan took a deep breath and continued to adjust the rhythm of the two powers merging. The light of the God connecting meridian completely enveloped all of Li Fan's meridians. This time, it was no longer a special meridian that existed alone, but it truly strengthened Li Fan's original meridians and completely merged with his body. The star Luo power finally spread out, blending with the 7 heroes' force like milk and milk, becoming Li Fan's real power. The 7 heroes' force in his body also broke through, and the 8th star in the sky finally lit up. The sea of mind of Li Fan's visualization world was completely formed, and the day and night began to alternate. At this moment, Li Fan finally entered the realm of a generation's master. He took a deep breath, and the surrounding energy would automatically enter his mouth. But if he didn't want to, the energy wouldn't come near him. His 7 heroes force now should be called the perfect 7 heroes force. When Li Fan opened his eyes, he heard crazy banging on the door outside. Second brother, did you fall asleep in there? I'm going to shit my pants. Zhao Yingjuan's screams came from outside the door. Li Fan couldn't help but smile. He had probably taken a bath in there for a long time. I'm coming out. Wait a minute. Li Fan dried himself with true qi, put on a t-shirt and loose pants, and left the bathroom. Damn, you're finally out. Wang Yang waved his hand. Third brother's fart is about to set the dorm on fire. Zhao Yingjun didn't have time to explain and went into the toilet. Li Fan also pinched his nose. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to the balcony to catch my breath. He took the opportunity to go to the balcony and close the door behind him. Phew, Li Fan breathed out a sigh of relief. After entering the 8th level of the cultivation method, Li Fan felt that his 6 senses had improved significantly. He could even hear the buzzing sound of a girl secretly using a vibrator in the opposite dorm. Not only that, but he also felt that somewhere, there seemed to be a powerful force lurking. Was it an expert from another generation's master? It seemed that only by truly reaching this realm could one feel the existence of other experts at the level of a master. Li Fan also felt that it was a lifetime ago. He didn't expect that he was already a master at the level of a master in his first year of university. Wasn't he quite amazing? Mr. Yang seemed to have completely disappeared. It should be said that he had integrated with me. Chapter 982. At this moment, the demon in his heart has become a part of him. Li Fan stands on the balcony, feeling a completely different version of himself. He can't suppress the surging power in his heart, facing the sky, letting out a soundless roar. Following his roar, his true energy directly soars into the sky. Oh! Thousands of miles away, a man slowly raises his head, looking at the night sky outside the window. I reached the peak just like that. His expression is a little surprised, as expected of the person I fancy. He sits on the wheelchair, gazing at the starry sky. Soon I will be able to return. Jianghu, Huaxia, even this world, will all bow down to me. Without turning his head, he suddenly asks a man kneeling beside him. What, Wang Zui, are you not convinced? Lord, I am convinced. Wang Zui says without hesitation, I have never doubted your strength. But your heart is not here now. The man sighs, Wang Zui, you have learned the indecisiveness of a woman. Sorry, Lord, I have disappointed you. Forget it, you are still useful to me, I will keep you for now. Thank you, Lord. The holy war is about to begin, start preparing. He wanted to let those incompetent fellows see who was the true king of this world. You may leave. Yes. Wang Zui kneels, crawling out of the room. Li Fan, don't disappoint me. The night passes, Li Fan and the rest wake up early. Early in the morning, they have to prepare for military training. The military training is based on a class. They are the only 4 male soldiers in the class. Li Fan takes out the military uniform issued to him and puts it on. G University is quite rich. This military uniform is also made of decent material, based on the Marines. Wearing it makes him look a little heroic. Look at me, don't I look like a soldier protecting the country? Zhao Yingjun wears his military uniform, excitedly standing in front of the mirror, looking at himself. Fuck, you look like a spy who infiltrated our army wearing this. Wang Yang rolls his eyes, don't be so smug, hurry up, we have to leave. If we're late, the counselor will bite us to death. I don't dare to go out. I'm afraid I'll charm those girls. Hurry up. You too, stop flirting so early in the morning. After Li Fan put on his clothes, he said to them, let's go. Shall we have breakfast on the way? Forget it, it's too late. Xiang, don't put on your sunscreen. Why would a man put on that stuff? Let's go. Wang Yang grabbed the direction and led a few people out of the door. Many students had already gathered on the field. People from every faculty were wearing different colored military uniforms. For example, Li Fan's class wore a desert yellow Marine Corps uniform, while Lin Yuhsan's class wore a navy blue Navy uniform. This was quite the style of the faculty. G University was quite humanistic in this aspect. Li Fan's instructor was a young soldier who had just joined the army for a year. It was said that he was only 16 years old, but he looked very masculine. Many girls in the class fell in love with him instantly. Our instructor is very handsome. Wang Ying stood in the group and said with a smile, I really want to be in a relationship with the instructor. You're in heat. Zhao Yingjun stood at the side and said sarcastically, he'll return to the army after military training. What's there to talk about? Are you jealous that he's more handsome than you? Wang Ying was already familiar with Zhao Yingjun. She directly said sarcastically, look at your stomach. Girls don't like it. What's wrong with my stomach? This is called having a big belly. Your stomach isn't a boat, it's full of shit. This Wang Ying was also sharp-tongued. Zhao Yingjun obviously couldn't win against her. Everyone stopped talking. We're preparing for military training. The instructor was quite polite, let me introduce myself first. My surname is Bai. You can call me Instructor Bai. Can I call you Brother Bai? A little girl shouted sweetly. The instructor's face immediately turned red. After all, he was a little soldier. He couldn't stand the gentleness of these girls. Call me instructor. This is the rule. Instructor Bai hardened his temper and said. What if I don't abide by the rule? What are you going to do to me? The girl shouted again. Slut. Wang Ying cursed in a low voice. You really don't abide by the rule. Instructor Bai looked at the girl. She stroked her hair coquettishly, causing the instructor to blush and avert his eyes. Yeah, Brother Bai, what are you going to do to me? This student, go out and run 3 laps around the field. The girl was dumbfounded. The others were also shocked. They all thought that the instructor was easy to bully. They didn't expect him to be so difficult to deal with. Can you not run? Then you can forget about your military training credits. Instructor Bai was merciless. The girl could only run away with a sullen face. Everyone remember, I'm your instructor. After 15 days, we can be friends and joke around. But within these 15 days, you must respect me and obey my command. The instructor glanced at all the students. Did you all hear me? I heard you, weakly. Louder. Didn't you eat? The little soldier showed his power and roared. He was not angry. I heard you. Everyone was shouting, including the girls. They were almost hysterical. That's more like it. The instructor was very satisfied and nodded. All of you, stand in military posture for an hour. After the instructor finished speaking, he also stood in front of them, motionless like a statue. It was summer, especially in a place like G City. The heat was baking all the students. Whether it was boys or girls, they were all spoiled at home. After just standing for 10 minutes, all of them could not stand it anymore. Some of them were swaying. Can't stand it so soon. Instructor Bai snorted. It said that college students nowadays are like trash. I thought it was an exaggeration, but I didn't expect it to be true. Instructor. We have never stood like this before. Xiao Yingjun was already sweating and couldn't help but say. Come out and squat on the spot for 30 times. Aw. Next time you want to say something, remember to report to the instructor first. Instructor Bai said mercilessly, those who don't report will be punished. This is my first time, instructor. Xiao Yingjun was about to cry. 20 more times. Xiao Yingjun really cried. Reporting to the instructor, this time he learned to be smart. The instructor nodded. Say it. I made a mistake for the first time. Please be merciful, then reduce it by 10 times. Instructor Bai was not particularly ruthless. Pay attention next time. Yes, Xiao Yingjun had no choice but to walk out obediently and began to squat awkwardly. Chapter 983. The physical strength of this generation was indeed lacking. Li Fan stood in the crowd and looked at Xiao Yingjun, who was about to collapse from squatting. He wanted to laugh but also felt a little sympathetic. He held up his hand and shouted loudly. Reporting to the instructor. Speak. Instructor, he can't do it anymore. Give him a lighter punishment. He just jumped 20 times and he can't do it anymore. Instructor Bai looked at Xiao Yingjun, who was drenched in sweat and looked exhausted. Look at your fat body. How can you not train? Reporting to the instructor. I really can't do it anymore. Xiao Yingjun had no energy to speak and looked like he was about to pass out at any time. Li Fan was a little worried. If he squatted a few more times, he would completely see God. You're his roommate, right? Instructor Bai glanced at Li Fan. Yes. Li Fan nodded. There are still 20 left, you can do it for him. Sure. Without hesitation, Li Fan took a step forward. But the punishment can't be so simple if you want to do it. Instructor Bai said, if you want to do it, you have to double it, 40. Okay. Li Fan agreed, then put his hands behind his back and began to squat on the spot. 40 squats were nothing to Li Fan and he finished it easily. He deliberately maintained the rhythm of his body and didn't make it too fast, lest it was too shocking. Yo, not bad. Instructor Bai looked at Li Fan and was a little surprised. I thought you couldn't do 20. Reporting to the instructor, I have trained my body. Li Fan stood up and said, I've made the instructor worry. Okay, go back. Instructor Bai didn't make things difficult for them. Remember next time, if you make a mistake, you have to be punished. Do you understand? Yes. This time, the students in the class shouted together and Instructor Bai was very satisfied. Not bad, this is like a vigorous college student. Continue to stand in the military posture for an hour. He ordered, and all the students continued to stand. It wasn't easy for these students to endure the scorching sun. However, the instructor did not say anything else. He stood there and shared the scorching sun with everyone else. Bang! A girl seemed to have suffered a heatstroke and collapsed, lying on the ground. Instructor, she can't hold on any longer. Wang Ying glanced at her and pursed her lips. Wasn't it just standing for an hour? She couldn't even take it. They were all girls, so they were too delicate. All right, send him to the infirmary. Instructor Bai wasn't here to kill anyone. The main purpose of this military training was to train the students' physique and willpower. However, there were some students with suboptimal health. Their bodies were too weak, and there was nothing that could be done about it. I'll send them off. I'm in the same dormitory as her. I'll go. The girls shouted together. What's with all the noise? Was there a need for so many people? All of you are from the same class, why don't you go together? Are you organizing a group activity? Although Instructor Bai was only 16 years old, his words were sharp. Everyone became obedient after hearing his sarcasm. She's suffering from heatstroke, not giving birth. 2 people can carry her there. You too, take her there. Yes, instructor. The 2 girls closest to her were called. It was obvious that her classmate was suffering from heatstroke, but the 2 of them seemed to be a little happy. Stop it. Your classmate is suffering from heatstroke. Why are you all acting like it's a festival? What are you so happy about? The instructor couldn't help but scold the 2 of them. Hurry up, I'll give you 20 minutes. If you can't come back by then, run to the field. Yes, instructor. The 2 girls hurriedly carried the girl away. You students, how can you shoulder the great responsibility of building the motherland in the future? Instructor Bai looked at these students who couldn't stand steadily and couldn't help but ridicule them. If our country relies on you to carry guns to war, won't it be beaten to the point of peeing blood? Reporting, instructor. Wang Ying couldn't help but finally said, we are not soldiers, we are students. Please don't use your standards to measure us. Oh, interesting. The instructor pointed at Wang Ying, come out and talk. Yes. Wang Ying stepped forward, walked out of the crowd, and stood in front of the instructor. What's your name? Wang Ying. Wang Ying. I remember you are the class monitor of this class, right? The instructor looked at the list of students in their class. Yes. Temporary. Wang Ying put her hands behind her back. Although her body was thin and weak, she didn't have the slightest intention of giving in. Li Fan said that this girl's character was similar to Lin Yuhsin, so stubborn. But being stubborn was easy to break, which wasn't necessarily a good thing. Huaxia had always pursued the path of moderation. It wouldn't do to be too fierce or too feminine. Class monitor, no wonder you're so bold. The instructor nodded and looked at Wang Ying. You're quite blunt with your words, aren't you afraid of being punished? Reporting, instructor, only mistakes will be punished. I didn't make a mistake, so I shouldn't be punished. Who told you that you didn't make a mistake? The instructor immediately said, in the army, contradicting the instructor is a mistake. Reporting, instructor. This is a school, not the army. You're still throwing a tantrum. Instructor Bai smiled, let me ask you, what did you call me? Instructor. Okay, then what are we doing now? Military training. Then we're in the army. Instructor Bai suddenly roared, causing Wang Ying to tremble in fear. What did I tell you just now? We're training now. I'm your instructor, you must respect me and listen to my command. Are you going to contradict me? You do 30 push-ups. I'll do it. Who's afraid of you? Wang Ying was unconvinced. She lay on the ground, and Instructor Bai added a sentence. 30 push-ups, are you convinced? Not convinced. Okay, then add another 30. Wang Ying didn't say a word and sat there silently doing push-ups. 60 push-ups, are you convinced? Not convinced. Wang Ying said very loudly. Okay, then do 100. Do it until you're convinced. Wang Ying was still so stubborn and continued to do push-ups. Even if it was very difficult, she didn't say anything and continued to do one after another. She did 100 push-ups, are you convinced? Instructor Bai suddenly asked these students. Convinced. No one dared to refute. Convinced my ass. Instructor Bai seemed to be really angry this time, especially you 4 boys. Are you just going to watch the girls in your class get punished? Instructor Bai, I'm willing to do 10 for her. Wang Yang was good at calculating and had a good eye. Seeing that the instructor was angry, he quickly said cleverly. 1 man, do 10. 20. Double, 40. Wang Yang was about to cry, but he still obediently lay on the ground and began to do push-ups. Can I do 10? Zhao Yingjun was already exhausted and asked weakly. Chapter 984. Who are you talking to? Didn't I teach you just now? Instructor Bai's eyes widened. Reporting to the instructor, I can only do 10. Fine. Do it. Instructor Bai was very efficient. Zhao Yingjun didn't dare to say anything else and immediately helped with the push-ups. How many do you want to do? The instructor asked Xiang Dong. 10. Xiang Dong was spoiled since he was a child. His body was very weak. How could he do so many push-ups? 10. Aren't you embarrassed? 15. Xiang Dong said timidly, I can't do more, you're a vegetable seller in the market. You're bargaining with me. The instructor looked at his small body and said, then make it 15. Double, 30. Hurry up and do it. After the instructor finished, he looked at Wang Ying who was still working hard on the push-ups. They helped you with 45. You did 20, so there's still 35 left. I don't need their help. I can do it myself. Wang Ying was still unconvinced. Good boy, I underestimated you. The instructor couldn't help but laugh. All right, you can get up. I'm not getting up. Wang Ying's eyes were a little red. She was holding back her anger. Then continue. The instructor didn't stop her. His eyes fell on Li Fan. How much do you want to do? Li Fan smiled, reporting to the instructor. If they can't finish it, it's all mine. You're good. I didn't know you were such a troublemaker. The instructor clapped his hands. To tell you the truth, before I came, the class monitor told me that you must be ruthless. On the first day of training, you must be ruthless. You college students are all fearless. Only when you're afraid of me can I control you. Do you remember what I just told you? In the army, you must listen to your superior's orders. So don't blame me. If you want to blame someone, blame our class monitor. He thought for a moment and continued, I'll give you the class monitor's phone number later. If you can't sleep at night, you can call him to scold him. Li Fan was speechless. This instructor Bai was really two-faced. He probably had been trained by his class monitor in the army. Bang! After doing 10 directions, he couldn't do it anymore. He lay on the ground with no strength in his wrists. Instructor, I can't take it anymore. Zhao Yingjun did 8 and couldn't do any more. Wang Yang's stamina wasn't bad, but he was starting to feel tired after doing 15. Only Wang Ying continued to do push-ups silently. Her forehead was covered in sweat, but she didn't seem to be discouraged at all. You guys are not even as good as a woman. The instructor looked down on the few boys in the class. You said it's for them, right? Let me help you calculate. The instructor pointed. He's 20 behind. He then pointed at Zhao Yingjun. This little fatty is short of 12. The instructor looked at Wang Yang. Can you still do it? No, I can't. Wang Yang made 25, but he really couldn't do it anymore. Second bro. I really can't take it anymore. Wang Yang was as tired as a dog. He's short of 15. Your class monitor is still doing it. The instructor counted his fingers. Now he's short of 47. You do double, I'll give you a 0. 90, how about it? Yes, instructor. Li Fan directly lied down and followed Wang Ying to do push-ups. Wang Ying did it while sweat dripped from her head. She gritted her teeth at Li Fan. Get up. I don't need your help me, I'm not helping you. I'm helping my brother. Li Fan said bluntly, how much you want to do, that's your freedom. I've never sympathized with you. Just do your own thing. Damn, you, where's your gentlemanly demeanor? You, this woman, are a psychopath. Li Fan and Wang Ying quarreled for a while. Wang Ying couldn't speak anymore, so she simply closed her mouth and continued to do push-ups. Li Fan also continued to do it. 90 push-ups for him had almost no effect. It was as simple as drinking water. But Wang Ying's 100 push-ups couldn't be done no matter what. When she reached the 40th, she was already sweating profusely. Bang! She finally fell heavily to the ground. Her hair and face were covered with sweat and mud. She seemed to have fainted. Help her to the infirmary. As soon as Instructor Bai finished speaking, Wang Ying opened her eyes again. Then she put her arms on the ground and began to prop herself up little by little. The instructor couldn't speak. Wang Ying was in a very difficult situation, but she never said a soft word. At this time, Li Fan supported himself with one hand on the ground and continued to do push-ups. His other hand stretched out and grabbed Wang Ying's collar. Wang Ying's vision was blurred. She just continued to do push-ups subconsciously. Now that she had become a lot more relaxed, she didn't notice it. In everyone's surprised eyes, Li Fan did push-ups with one hand while holding Wang Ying with the other hand and did it with her. This arm strength, this physical strength, it was simply amazing. Instructor Bai felt a little incredible. He didn't stop them and watched Li Fan finish all the punishments with Wang Ying. Reporting to the instructor, Wang Ying completed 100 push-ups and I completed 90. Li Fan clapped his hands and stood up. Wang Ying was also dizzy. She wanted to get up, but her body shook. Li Fan reached out again, grabbed her arm, and supported her. Wang Ying was a little dizzy. Li Fan handed her to her roommate. She's fine. She just needs to rest. Li Fan said to her roommate. Well, the girl hugged Wang Ying and then secretly gave Li Fan a thumbs up. Amazing, really amazing. Instructor Bai clapped his hands and praised, You kid, you make me look at you in a different light. Thank you, instructor. Then I'll return to the team. Li Fan bowed slightly to Instructor Bai and then returned to his position. You've all seen it. If you contradict the instructor in the future, this is the result. Instructor Bai still carried out his class monitor's words to the end. On the first day, he implemented the terrible military training education. After an hour of military posture, he let the class rest for 10 minutes and then continued with the next hour of training. The content of the military training was actually not complicated. Then they continued to practice marching. Li Fan showed his strong physical strength, an instructor but didn't say anything else. After the training, Li Fan also kept a low profile and didn't do anything too excessive. Finally, it was noon break time, and Zhao Yingjun was about to collapse. After the instructor dismissed them, like other students, they all sat on the ground, gasping for breath. Li Fan bought 3 bottles of water from the nearby canteen and handed them to them. You guys should have a good exercise. Don't make trouble. You think everyone is like you, monster. Chapter 985. Zhao Yingjun was now scared to death of Li Fan. What kind of physical strength did this guy have to be able to easily do push-ups in that kind of situation? Was he a pervert? Lao Air. How do you usually train? Wang Yang was also exhausted. Doing push-ups and standing military posture was a bit too much for a burly Shandong man like him. Not to mention Xiang, a technical otaku, he didn't even care about being dirty. He rested his head on the trash can next to him. Keep running every morning and evening to get more protein. Li Fan casually made up a story. Is that useful? Zhao Yingjun was a bit doubtful. I've run for a while, but every time I come back after running, I get hungrier and eat more. You have to eat something high in protein and low in fat. Xiang was indeed a technical otaku. He immediately followed up, if you finish running. Drink Coke and eat chips, it will be a waste of time. Damn, how did you know? Zhao Yingjun curled his lips. Anyway, I can't take exercise. Don't talk about Lauer, that little girl Wang Ying is also quite strong. Wang Yang couldn't help but ridicule, that girl is too fierce. Look at that petite body, she did so many push-ups in one go and nothing happened. She is quite strong. Zhao Yingjun thought about it and couldn't help but shiver. If he were to marry this woman in the future, he would definitely be squeezed dry. Too scary. You guys, why are you talking about a little girl? Li Fan despised them, besides, she is indeed stronger than you. Look at the way the instructor looks at you. Don't you understand? What can I do? I don't want to either, Zhao Yingjun sighed. I've been like this for a few years. How can I just change? How am I going to spend the next 14 days and 1 afternoon? You might as well kill me. I really can't take it anymore. Good for nothing. Wang Ying walked over at this time. She wiped the sweat from her forehead and looked at Zhao Yingjun, who was almost lying on the ground. You're a man, yet you say you can't take it anymore. If you really can't take it anymore, what about your wife? Just cut it off now. Wang Ying's poisonous tongue made Zhao Yingjun speechless. You should train for the next 15 days. Yesterday, your roommates mocked you for looking like a turtle prime minister. Have you forgotten? You were the one who asked me to act. I chose you out of respect for your image, Gu Shenwei said. Wang Ying immediately argued, and the few of them were really laughing at you, idiot. Zhao Yingjun's mouth wasn't stupid, but when he met Wang Ying, he couldn't speak. All right, stop mocking him. He wasn't born to be so fat. Li Fan advised, losing weight is something that has to be done slowly. Don't talk about him, you too. Wang Ying looked at Li Fan, a little angry. Who asked you to help me just now? Did I give in? You didn't let me. I wanted to. Li Fan laughed. If you're not convinced, then bite me. You bastard, don't you know what a gentleman is? I really don't understand how Shen Chen fell in love with you. Everyone was Shen Chen's fan, and Wang Ying seemed a little angry when she mentioned this. Can we not mention her? That woman is a psychopath. Li Fan suddenly exploded. She said that I'm her boyfriend. Is she crazy? Look at the way she treats me. Does it look like she likes me? As soon as Li Fan's voice fell, there was a burst of cheers from the crowd around him. Li Fan turned his head and saw Shin Chin wearing a clean little denim shirt, slowly walking towards him. He suddenly felt his scalp tingle and thought, not good. But now it was during the military training period, and the training was about to start. It was not easy for him to get away. Shin Chen also took advantage of this opportunity to walk in front of Li Fan. "Dear, I'm here to see you." Shin Chen took out an energy drink from her bag and handed it to Li Fan in full view of the crowd. "Here you go, it's still cold. You must be thirsty, drink it quickly." Shin Chen saw that Li Fan didn't take it, but she laughed. "Dear, you're so naughty. Are you too tired to take it? It doesn't matter, I'll feed you." With that, Shin Chen opened the bottle cap, then took out a straw, inserted it inside, and handed it to Li Fan's mouth. At an angle that others couldn't see, Shin Chen glared at Li Fan, meaning that if you dare not drink it, this old mother will not let you off. Li Fan had no choice but to take the drink himself, pull out the straw, and drink it in one gulp. Too enviable, Xiao Yingjun sat on the side and was about to cry. "Why am I not the second brother? Hoo, how am I worse than him?" Wang Ying looked at Xiao Yingjun helplessly, thinking, how can you say this? "Dear, are you tired? Do you want me to massage your shoulders?" Shin Chen was as gentle as water and asked in Li Fan's ear. Many people were going crazy. The big star Shin Chen personally massaged his shoulders. My God, this is the treatment of a god. They also want it. No need. My shoulders are fine. Li Fan was particularly helpless. This girl is a bit too much. You go do your thing, I had a good time in the military training. How is it pleasant? Everyone wailed in their heart. It doesn't matter, anyway, I don't have any classes today. I'll just accompany my dear. There's no place for you to rest here. Li Fan gestured. Shin Chen said and pointed to the flower bed next to her, I'll sit here. As soon as Shin Chen's voice fell, several boys immediately ran over and scrambled to lay their cushions on the flower bed. Please sit down. Sit on mine, it's dirty. Fart, it's clean. I just bought it. A few boys were about to fight, but Shin Chen smiled at them. Thank you, I'll sit on this. The boy who was chosen was so excited that he almost fainted. Shin Chen, here's your umbrella. A little girl also ran over and held her umbrella for Shin Chen. Shin Chen's charm almost killed both men and women. Thank you. Shin Chen nodded to her to express her gratitude. There were also several students who boldly came over and gave Shin Chen an umbrella, water, and food. Shin Chen quickly placed a lot of snacks and water around her. She sat there and looked at Li Fan with a smile. There was also a student who contributed a small portable fan to help Shin Chen blow by the side. You see, isn't this a good place? Looking at Shin Chen's expression, Li Fan was also quite helpless. This woman is incurable. Aren't you afraid of the reporters? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. Chapter 986. Reporter. Shin Chen tilted her head and looked at Li Fan. Did you forget, this is a university campus, not just anyone can come in. The school leaders have been conducting a strict investigation these days. All reporters are not allowed to enter the campus. You have the final say in the school. Not really. Shin Chen winked at Li Fan. It's just that the dean is my fan. Fuck. Li Fan was unhappy, this celebrity was too much, she even had this kind of privilege. Unreasonable. It doesn't matter, you are my boyfriend, you can also enjoy the privilege that I can enjoy. You can even enjoy me, right? Shin Chen proudly said to Li Fan, making Li Fan almost vomit blood. She was not trying to seduce him, she was just showing off. You win, then you sit here slowly, I am going to the military training. Li Fan was defeated by Shin Chin, he was about to leave, but suddenly turned his head and pointed to a corner in the distance. You are going to be in the headlines. Shin Chen looked over there and found a reporter lying on top of it, constantly taking photos. It's nothing. The corner of Shin Chen's mouth slightly rose, and then pretended to panic and shouted. God! How could there be someone secretly taking photos of me in the school? This is too much. As soon as Shin Chen finished shouting, several boys immediately rushed to the corner of the wall over there, scaring the reporters into jumping over the wall and running away. Fuck, this Shin Chen was really good at using her ability. Alright, I am too lazy to care about you, military training. The instructor blew the whistle, so Li Fan turned around and left. Dear, do your best. Shin Chen made a cheering gesture at Li Fan, the surrounding students were envious, they also wanted Shin Chen to cheer. Everyone, do your best. In addition to being willful to Li Fan, in front of everyone, Shin Chen maintained the image of a pure jade girl. She seemed to have guessed these people's thoughts, so she made a blowing kiss gesture at the Chinese department's military training crowd. God, Shin Chen cheered for me. She blew a kiss at me. Nonsense, she was obviously blowing a kiss at me. It's me. Some people even quarreled, and the instructor had to step in to maintain order. Li Fan had no choice but to open the door. Shin Chen, this woman. Her celebrity effect was too scary. Thinking about it, if it wasn't for the protection given to her by the dean, it would have been difficult for her to move an inch in this university. Li Fan, right? Come here for a moment. After the instructor asked everyone to stand properly, he asked Li Fan to walk in front of him. Then, he put his arm around Li Fan's shoulder and whispered in front of him. That. Later, can I have Shin Chen give me an autograph? Fuck, Instructor Bai, are you a fan too? That's not idol chasing. I'm just appreciating art, you know. Instructor Bai rolled his eyes at Li Fan. Besides, what era are we living in? We soldiers are not isolated from the world. What's wrong with liking Shin Chen? I bought a few of her CDs. It's a pity that I didn't bring it to the army, sigh. Alright, instructor. I understand your feelings, but this autograph, we're all men, let's be frank. Instructor Bai hugged Li Fan tightly. This is a mission from above. What fucking mission, can I do it? As an instructor, do I still need to beg you? Alright, Li Fan said that it was better to let him fight. Asking for Shin Chen's autograph. Li Fan glanced at Shin Chen, who was sitting there. This girl was holding her mobile phone and posing for a selfie. She noticed that Li Fan was looking at her and waved happily at Li Fan. This crazy woman. I really don't want to get close to her, Li Fan sighed. How did I get into such trouble? That's more like it. Return to the team. The instructor's mood seemed to be much better. The following training was much easier. Second brother, did you make a secret deal with the instructor? Zhao Yingjun could not help but lower his voice and ask Li Fan, why is the training so much easier now? Zhao Yingjun, step out. Instructor Bai shouted loudly, scaring Zhao Yingjun so much that he trembled. Who allowed you to speak? 20 squats. Begin. Zhao Yingjun was about to cry. Li Fan gloated. Who asked you to be so cocky? You said the training intensity was low, right? After 20 squats, walk 3 rounds around the field in unison. Instructor Bai ordered, shout the slogan yourself, louder and louder, so that I can hear you. If you can't hear it, walk again. Yes. Zhao Yingjun really cried. Li Fan was training. Shin Chen seemed a little bored and took out her mobile phone to watch a movie. She even cried when she saw a touching scene. Her tear-stained face attracted the heartache of many boys. They could not wait to hug Shin Chen in their arms and comfort her. Unfortunately, these were just thoughts. After all, Shin Chen was already taken, and she was a grassroots. Thinking about it made me angry. It was not easy for female idols to find a partner. If they found a tall, rich, and handsome man, people would think that they were vain and greedy. If they found someone in the same industry, they would be besieged by their fans. If they found a grassroots loser, people would think that they had been fucked by a dog. Therefore, for the development of some female idols, the agency had a rule that they were not allowed to fall in love during their career. Korea was the strictest in this aspect. Many Korean artists could only fall in love in secret. If they were found out, they would die miserably. Although the mainland was a little more relaxed, it was not much better. There were probably not many who were as willful as Shin Chen. Li Fan could not do anything to Shin Chen, so he simply ignored her and did whatever she wanted. But he did not know that at this time, City A was also a little excited. Fifan Escort Agency. Shueiyue, what are you looking at? Young Shueiyue heard Xia Yi's voice behind her, and she dropped her mobile phone in shock. What's the matter? Why are you so scared? Xia Yi picked up her mobile phone and saw a news headline. Shin Chen falls in love with a college student. Below it was a big photo of Li Fan. Xia Yi's eyes widened. Red Dragon Society, Lu Group. Smack. Lu Shinan smashed a vase, and Yufeng next to her did not dare to say a word. Book me a ticket to City G, the fastest one. Yes, Murong Villa. Murong likes to run away. Muronging frowned when she heard the servant's report. She glanced at the news on her mobile phone and stared at Li Fan's photo for a long time. I'll be away for a few days. Don't tell my father. Leaning on the sword and laughing at the breeze. Big snow mountain. Girlfriend. Luo Xiaowu looked at the iPad screen held by one of her subordinates and chuckled. This guy is not honest. Night Rain Tower, Guomingming, you too, come with me. Are we going to find him? Night Rain Tower asked hurriedly. Yes, we're going to catch the husband. Luo Xiaowu had already walked out of the hole. Chapter 987. Li Fan, do you want to have lunch together? Lin Yuhsin was also wearing a blue military uniform. Under the gazes of a group of boys, she walked towards Li Fan. Shin Chen immediately became alert. She stood up and grabbed Li Fan, who had just been dismissed. Sorry, he's my boyfriend. We're going to have lunch together. Lin Yuhsin only glanced at Shin Chen indifferently, then turned to look at Li Fan. The ramen at the entrance is quite delicious. Shall I treat you today? Zhao Yingjun and the others, who were planning to eat with Li Fan, immediately said in a low voice when they saw this situation. Let's eat by ourselves. Yes, yes, the few of them immediately slipped away. Hey! Don't you have any manners? Although Shin Chen was angry that the second person to ignore her was Li Fan was obviously the most important. She had not finished taking revenge on Li Fan yet. How could she give him to another girl? Wouldn't that mean that she was inferior to others? Thinking of this, she glared at Li Fan. You brought her to eat ramen. There's a roasted cold noodles at the entrance. It's quite authentic. Do you want to try it? Lin Yuhsin stepped forward and held Li Fan's other arm as she spoke gently. That's enough. He's my boyfriend. Shin Chen pulled Li Fan back and glared at Lin Yuhsin. You're interesting. Can you be so thick-skinned just because you're a celebrity? Lin Yuhsin's eloquence was the best that Li Fan had ever seen. You unilaterally claimed that he's your boyfriend. Did he agree to it? He's my boyfriend. Whatever I say is what I say. Why don't you say that there are two suns in the sky and that the United States is Huaxia's territory? Lin Yuhsin rolled her eyes and then stuck close to Li Fan, looking at Shin Chen as if she was demonstrating. Moreover, Li Fan and I have been in a relationship for a long time. I know him, but do you? I don't need to understand him. Shin Chen immediately shouted, I only need to be responsible for being as beautiful as a flower, so that he will love me enough. I think you're a psychopath living in your own world. Lin Yuhsin said bluntly, wake up. Do you think that every man in the world likes you? Girl, you've gone too far. I'm just telling the truth. The two women were like two little hens, and they began to oppose each other. Li Fan had had enough. He waved his hand and pushed the two women away. You two keep arguing. I'm going to eat. Li Fan. Don't go. Did I allow you to leave? Come back. Li Fan, I'm sorry. My words were a little harsh. I apologize. Don't be angry. One of the two girls stomped her feet in place, while the other stepped forward and once again took Li Fan's arm. Damn it, don't take advantage of me. Shin Chen thought for a long time, stomped her feet, decisively followed up, and pulled Li Fan's other arm. My God, I think tomorrow's news headlines will come out again. Wang Ying was stunned from a distance. Shin Chen and a mysterious beauty fighting for a man's affection. My God, the recent headlines will be taken by Shin Chen. My leather pants peak. This Li Fan. What kind of charm does he have, to make so many beautiful women fight for his affection? There were other girls in the class who also couldn't understand. And Li Fan has been half pulled and half dragged into the cafeteria. Two beautiful women, one on the left and one on the right, sat around him. He didn't even have the opportunity to eat. There were already several kinds of food in front of him. This spicy mix is the specialty of our cafeteria. As a sophomore, Shin Chen played to her advantage, pointed to the large portion of spicy mix in front of her, and said, It's delicious. I specifically ordered a large portion. Let's eat together. How many times do you come to school a year? Lin Yuhsin bluntly ridiculed, if you can come twice, then you'll have changed. Do you know what's delicious in the cafeteria? She said and pushed the twice-cooked pork rice she bought in front of Li Fan. Li Fan, you used to like this, so I specifically found the best. Are you done yet? Do you want to compete with me? Shin Chen angrily glared at Lin Yuhsin. There's no such thing. Lin Yuhsin smiled sweetly, I have never regarded you as an opponent because you're too annoying. You dare to say that this lady is annoying? I'm just telling the truth. If those fans knew your true colors, they would have long become passers-by. Lin Yuhsin's words were like poisonous thorns, poking at Shin Chen, making her so angry that she wanted to explode. Alright, can you two stop for a while? Can't you two concentrate on eating? It was said that a woman was equal to 500 ducks. Li Fan felt that this was not an exaggeration at all. If you continue to quarrel, I won't have any appetite. Even if he had good self-restraint, this was a bit unbearable. What was there for two women to quarrel about? It was just a meal, must they be at each other's throats? Li Fan is right. Let's stop quarreling. Lin Yuhsin nodded, I'm a bit childish, I'm really sorry. Let me feed you. Hey! Shin Chen quickly picked up the chopsticks, picked up a piece of chili, and was about to shove it into Li Fan's mouth. Stop. Eat your own food. Li Fan was so angry that he wanted to laugh. Both of you sit here, I'll go buy something I want to eat. When I come back, if any of you dare to quarrel, don't blame me for turning around and leaving. With that, Li Fan got up and left. Shin-chen pouted her mouth, thinking that if it wasn't because this lady wanted to retaliate against you, I wouldn't fall for this. Humph. Lin Yuhsin did not say anything, just mixing the rice on her plate. Is the streaky pork not good? Hey, when did you know Li Fan? Hey, say something. Hey, are you mute? Lin Yuhsin finally put down her fork and turned to look at Shin-chen seriously. Senior sister, you're quite beautiful, but I think a beautiful woman who doesn't learn etiquette is just a vase. Who doesn't know etiquette? I've been specially trained. Then you don't know how to call him by his name. Am I called Hey? You. What's your name? Lin Yuhsin, the moon rises from the forest, Chang-yi soars to immortality. You're too good at beautifying yourself. My name is Shin-chen. Everyone in China knows you as Shin-chen. Then when did you know Li Fan? Junior sister Lin Yuhsin. In high school. Lin Yuhsin seemed to think of the past and could not help but laugh. At that time, Li Fan was still a silly and stupid boy. He's not much smarter now. If you don't think he's good, you can quit. I just love how stupid he is. Can't I? You can. Lin Yuhsin looked at Shin-chen up and down, and then laughed. Shin-chen felt a little uncomfortable being laughed. She looked at Lin Yuhsin and asked. You, what are you laughing at? You don't like Li Fan. Chapter 988. You, what nonsense are you talking about? Shin-chen became a little nervous and looked at Lin Yuhsin. You don't like Li Fan. Lin Yuhsin repeated it again, but Shin-chen glared at her. We agreed not to quarrel. Don't start a fight, little junior sister. Senior Shin-chen, although I am in the English department, I will study psychology a year later. Lin Yuhsin stared at Shin-chen's eyes. You have shown a lot of psychology from the beginning until now. Including the way you look at Li Fan, and some of your little movements toward Li Fan, it all proves one thing. You don't like Li Fan, you just have a desire to possess him, so you want to win Li Fan's favor, right? What nonsense, there is no theoretical basis at all. Is that so? Lin Yuhsin said very confidently. Duncan, who has a master's degree in psychology in the United States, once said that the safe distance between people is 1.2 meters. Other than when you deliberately want to fight with me, you have always kept a distance of more than 1 meter from Li Fan. You show intimacy on the surface, but you can't deceive your heart. Lin Yuhsin pointed to Shin-chen's position. Even where you are sitting now, you are consciously or unconsciously protecting your own subconscious. Do you see, you are sitting in the outermost row, and your position is very close to the door. All this shows that Li Fan can't give you a sense of security, and you don't really like him. If you like him, you want him to invade your safe zone. That's nonsense. Shin-chen seemed to be slightly panicked, but she was also a person who had experienced many big scenes, so she slowly calmed down. I naturally like Li Fan, but I have the reservation that a girl should have. What do you want to see, me and Li Fan having sex on the cafeteria table? Lin Yuhsin was drinking milk tea, and when she heard this, she almost spat it out. How are you so reserved? You'll get it over time. Little girl, don't play with me like this. I won't fall for it. Shin-chen showed her shrewish side again. There's nothing I can't get if I want it. I'm a girl doted on by the heavens. If you fight with me, you're going against the heavens. Senior sister, you're really too arrogant. Lin Yuhsin couldn't help but sigh. Maybe you think it's because of your personal charm, but Li Fan just happens to be the one who doesn't fall for it. Of course, I'll teach him a lesson. Shin Chen was still full of confidence. He was about to say a few more words when he suddenly saw a sturdy boy walking over. His hair was dyed red and his muscles were bulging. One look and you could tell that he had been training all year round. He did not seem to have good intentions. King Kong. Seeing this man, Shin Chen was not surprised, but just frowned. What are you doing here instead of following your master? King Kong was his nickname. This brother was from the sports department and was always by Zhang Guo's side. In Shin Chen's eyes, he was not much different from a dog. This reminded her of the red-haired Tibetan Mastiff by Boss Ma's side. Young master wants me to ask you, is Li Fan really in love with you? King Kong's voice was muffled. His words were like the ringing of a bell. Of course he is, aren't you talking nonsense? Shin Chen was quite unhappy. What kind of person am I? A popular idol that no one dares to approach. Would I joke around with my future? That's good. King Kong continued, young master wants you to tell him to stay away from Lu Wan, or else he'll break his leg. Your family's young master is really funny. Shin Chen laughed, let him fart in front of me. What's the meaning of sending a dog to bark? Shin Chen, don't go too far. King Kong seemed to be about to get angry. I'm going too far, what a joke. Shin Chen ridiculed, take a piss and look at yourself in the mirror before talking to this lady. You're asking for a beating. King Kong was someone who practiced sports. He was hot-blooded, and it was hard to suppress his temper. Although his family was not very rich, it was still a well-off family. King Kong's father was a small board member in Zhang Guo's family. His father also wanted his son to play with the young master more, so that when the young master inherited the family business, his son would have a share. King Kong had a bad temper, and even Zhang Guo rarely provoked him. At this moment, Shin Chen's words put him in a difficult position. He directly raised his palm, wanting to give Shin Chen a slap. Others may worship Shin Chen, but in King Kong's eyes, Shin Chen was just an entertainer. He had played many roles as a minor celebrity. So what if he had a bigger card? But at this moment, he was suddenly hit in the face by the scalding hot milk tea. Ow, ow, ow. King Kong screamed in pain. Lin Yuhsin was holding the milk tea in her hand, and at the same time, she pulled Shin Chen behind her to protect her. Shin Chen was very surprised. This woman, was she not afraid? You're asking for it. King Kong recovered a little, and he slapped Lin Yuhsin. But at this critical moment, Li Fan held a plate of fried noodles in his right hand, and his left hand grabbed King Kong's wrist. Then, he bit down and pressed down again. Bam! King Kong, this strong man, was pressed down on the table by Li Fan. His face was pressed into the plate of twice-cooked pork with rice. King Kong felt humiliated, but he struggled a little, and his body seemed to be locked, and he could not break free at all. Let go of me! King Kong roared angrily. A man actually dared to attack two weak women. Let's forget about this arm for now. As Li Fan said this, he directly pressed down hard on King Kong's arm. With a crack, King Kong's right arm was directly dislocated by Li Fan. He wailed, and then glared at Li Fan, his eyes flashing with anger. Not happy. Li Fan laughed, do you want to bite me? Li Fan, you've offended young master. Your time has come. Oh. Is that so? Zhang Guo can kill me. Li Fan's expression was as usual, tell your brainless young master to come at me if he has any problems. Don't pick on the weak. As he said this, Li Fan pushed King Kong to the ground. Students, this person is bullying Shin Chen. Take him to the security office. Li Fan shouted. Fuck, this is too much. I knew he's not a good person. Behave, let's go. A group of boys volunteered to hold King Kong down and take him to the security office. Your superstar title is quite useful. Li Fan turned around and smiled at Shin Chen. Li Fan, it was so scary just now. Lin Yuhsin was the first to burrow into Li Fan's arms, leaning against his chest, shivering. It's okay, it's okay. I'm here. Li Fan gently touched her head and comforted her. Shin Chen was dumbfounded. She saw Lin Yuhsin secretly turn her head and winked at her. Shin Chen was about to explode. Chapter 989. Shin Chen returned to her dormitory. Her dormitory was specially approved by the school. It was an international student dormitory, like a small villa, with only 2 rooms. One room was occupied by Shin Chen, and the other room was occupied by Lu Wanner. After Shin Chen came back, she fell on the sofa, seemingly sulking. What's wrong with you? Lu Wanner was sitting cross-legged in front of the mirror, playing melodious music and practicing yoga. Seeing Shin Chen rushing in, Lu Wanner could not help but ask. Look at you, did you quarrel with the management company again? No. Shin Chen picked up a cute doll and beat it with all her might. Oh, you quarreled with Li Fan again. Not quarreled with him. Oh, my Miss Shin, then what's wrong with you? If you sulk alone, you will grow old very quickly. Why don't you come and practice yoga with me? It can relax your body and mind, and let you free your soul. As Lu Wanner spoke, she stretched her body. The lines of her body were very perfect, curvaceous and sexy. Even Shin Chen was somewhat envious of her figure. No way, I prefer fitness. Yoga and fitness were basically in 2 different directions. Shin Chen preferred the pleasure of burning fat. Oh, I digressed from the topic. I didn't quarrel with Li Fan today, although he is still so annoying. I met a woman, a terrible opponent. Oh. Is it the girl from the English department yesterday? Lu Wanner spread her legs and sat on the yoga board, her upper body almost touching the ground. Look at your small figure, if I were a man, I would fuck you to death. Shin Chen was stimulated by Lu Wanner's provocative action and could not help but say. Why are you talking about me? Aren't we talking about that girl from the English department? Lu Wanner maintained this posture, and then slightly shook her hips up and down. This is proper yoga, your evil fire should be released. I think Li Fan is not bad, he looks thin, but he is actually quite strong. I touched him the other day, he is all muscles, he should be able to withstand your torment. Go to hell. Shin Chen glared at Lu Wanner, you are as hateful as that girl from the English department. How did she piss you off? I feel like I can't compete with her. Shin Chen buried her face in the sofa, very depressed. So annoying, really annoying. Wow, our big shot Shin can't even compete with a little girl. What are you saying? I'm also a young lady, okay? Shin Chen immediately became unhappy. She raised her head and angrily looked at Lu Wanner. Moreover, Li Fan doesn't buy it. What are you talking about? It's as if you're good at chasing boys. Lu Wanner was amused. You can. I'm alright. Lu Wanner had a smile on her face. Although I've never eaten pork, I've seen a pig run. I have a friend who is average looking, but she has a different boyfriend every week, and they are all handsome guys. Even now, there are still many men who risk their lives for her. I really admire them. So powerful. Shin Chen was in disbelief. When have I ever lied to you? Really, it's fine if you don't want to learn. Lu Warner picked up the remote control at the side and turned up the volume of the music, seemingly ignoring Shin-Chin. Shin-Chin hurriedly walked to the speaker, turned down the volume, and looked at Lu Warner seriously. All right, I agree. Let her come. You really want to learn? It was Lu Warner's turn to be surprised. I thought you were joking. Of course not. Shin-Chen was very persistent. Li Fan, this guy, he actually ignored this lady's charm and disliked me so much. I must chase him and then ruthlessly abandon him. I'll let him know what punishment is. But I think Li Fan is quite good. Lu Warner could not help but say, his character is quite good. I think the one who keeps pestering him is you. Hey, whose roommate and best friend are you? Shin-Chen was angry. Why are you always speaking for others? I think what I said is the truth, Lu Warner smiled. Alright, no matter what, it's a good thing that you can be so serious about a boy. I always thought that you would be like me, never meeting a boy who can move your heart. I emphasize again, I'm not moved by him. Shin-Chen immediately declared. I just want to take revenge on him. Are you sure? Lu Warner looked at Shin-Chen's eyes. You don't like him at all? No, I don't. Shin-Chen hesitated. She felt that if she directly said that she didn't like him, it seemed like she had fallen into the psychology that the little girl mentioned. It was really annoying. That little girl, how could she read people's minds? Her so-called psychology, was it really that accurate? Shin-Chen was in a dilemma. But after thinking for a moment, she still said that she didn't like him. Since you don't like him, I think I can give it a try. Lu Warner's words made Shin-Chen nervous. What are you doing? You want to chase after Li Fan? Are you crazy? In any case, I'm going to study abroad in 2 years. I suddenly thought it through. Instead of being sad, it's better to take the opportunity to fight for it. Lu Warner seemed to be very serious. It'll be good if I can live these 2 years vigorously. I think Li Fan is pretty good. He's a good date. Then how am I going to chase him? It won't delay you. You're going to dump him anyway. Lu Warner didn't know if she was joking or serious. She winked at Lu Warner. When you dump him, he'll definitely be very upset. At that time, I'll take advantage of the situation and easily take him down. After saying that, Lu Warner licked her lips. Well, you little girl, you actually dare to tease me. Shin-Chen was so angry that she laughed. She pounced on Lu Warner and pressed her down on the yoga board. You little seductress, see if this old lady won't kill you. Stop messing around. I'll call my friend and ask her to come over and teach you. Lu Warner couldn't break free. She practiced yoga. How could she compare to Shin-Chen, who trained in bodybuilding? Although Shin-Chen looked thin and weak, she actually had a lot of muscles. Her lower abdomen also had a beautiful waistline, which made Lu Warner very envious. Humph, if you dare to tease me again, you're dead meat. Shin-Chen was satisfied. She climbed down from Lu Warner's body. Little Lu, hurry up and make the call. This lady can't wait to learn new knowledge. It's a new position, right? You're itching again. Okay. I won't tease you anymore. I'll make the call now. Lu Warner looked at Shin-Chen deeply, then took out her phone and called her friend. Early the next morning, Li Fan was woken up by Shin-Chen's call. Why are you so early? Li Fan looked at the time in a daze. There was still an hour before the military training. Come down. Shin-Chen was very gentle on the phone. I brought you breakfast, Chapter 990. You are actually bringing me breakfast. When Li Fan went downstairs, he saw Shin Chin already standing outside. She was dressed very simply today, in a beige t-shirt with her own portrait printed on it. The t-shirt was relatively short, revealing a small part of her waist. Shin Chen's lower abdomen was very attractive, especially with a beautiful waistline. She was wearing a pair of super short denim hot pants, revealing a pair of fair legs. The area above a girl's thighs was the domain of God. It attracted men's attention more than any other place. When Li Fan saw the super short hot pants, he could not help but take a few more glances. Although Shin Chen's personality was not pleasing, there was nothing to be picky about her looks. She really attracted men's attention. Well, you have military training during the day. You can't not wake up and eat something in the morning. Shin Chen was especially gentle today. She picked up the fast food box in her hand and handed it to Li Fan. If you want, I can accompany you to eat. This time, Shin Chen did not seem to be forcing him. Li Fan thought about it and pointed to the lounge downstairs. Then eat here. Thank you for your hard work. She had worked so hard to deliver breakfast, and Li Fan was too embarrassed to chase her away. Moreover, every dormitory building in G University prohibited people of the opposite sex from entering. However, the school was more humane. They set up a lounge in the hall on the first floor of the school. Friends of the opposite sex who came to meet guests could rest and chat in the lounge. Li Fan led Shin Chen into the lounge and found a sofa to sit down. Shin Chen took the initiative to open the fast food box for Li Fan. She even broke apart the disposable chopsticks and carefully placed them in front of Li Fan. However, when Li Fan saw the breakfast, he felt a headache coming on. Wasn't this the canteen spicy hot pot? Good Lord, she made me eat something so hot so early in the morning. Isn't this a prank? This is the canteen spicy hot pot. Li Fan asked tactfully. No, this is the spicy hot pot from a small shop at the back door. It tastes good and I eat it often. Shin Chen even licked her lips lightly. But this thing is quite high in calories. Every time I eat it, I have to exercise for a long time. I think you're going to the military training, so you'll need to train as well. It's better to replenish your calories. What kind of theory is this? Li Fan gave Shin Chen a poor evaluation of his ability to survive. I'll get you some water. As Shin Chen spoke, he stood up, picked up the soy milk he bought, and poured a cup for Li Fan. Her t-shirt had a round neck, and the neckline was relatively large. It accidentally revealed the milky white world inside, and it dazzled Li Fan's eyes. Amitba, Li Fan felt that his inner demon had appeared again. Why didn't this Shin Chen know how to pay attention to this? He subconsciously moved his gaze away. Shin Chen saw this scene and the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. Humph, Li Fan, I don't believe I can't get you. Well, Shin Chen, why did your temperament suddenly change so much today? Great change in temperament. What do you mean? When Shin Chen heard this, she almost couldn't control herself and exposed her true nature. I just feel that there's something not quite right with you. As Li Fan said this, he stretched out his right hand and gently placed it on Shin Chen's forehead. Strange, it's not hot. Hey, but why is your face a little red? Stop messing around. Shin Chen originally wanted to slap Li Fan's hand away, but she remembered Lu Wan-er's friend's words and forcibly held back. Lu Wan-er's friend was indeed a master at chasing after men. She had repeatedly exhorted her. In order to pursue a man, one must also treat him well. If the other party liked wild girls, then act like a little wild cat. If the other party liked gentle girls, then act like a good wife and loving mother. If she wanted to capture Li Fan's heart, then she naturally had to act like a woman that Li Fan liked. And after being in contact with him for a while, Shin felt that Li Fan was more comfortable with gentle girls. If she wanted to defeat the little witch, Lin Yuhsian, she had to win Li Fan's heart. Shin, didn't you learn acting for a while? You can definitely do it. Shin squeezed out a gentle smile and said to Li Fan, you eat, you don't have to chat with me, I'll just watch you. Li Fan looked at Shin strangely. Although he had no appetite, he was still prepared to eat the mala tang because of Shin good intention. But before eating, Li Fan used his chopsticks to rummage through it, as if looking for something. Dear, what are you doing? I'm looking to see if there's anything that shouldn't be there. Li Fan told the truth, I'm afraid that you're playing tricks on me. Shin almost exploded with anger. This old lady worked so hard and even woke up early to buy breakfast for you, and you actually said that I'm playing tricks on you. Hit you, bastard. After Shin finished roaring in her heart, she said gently to Li Fan, how is that possible, am I that kind of person? I just want to have breakfast with you. Okay, you're a little weird. Li Fan thought of Yin Tian. He looked at Shin and could not help but ask, Shin, do you know about a second personality? What second personality? Shin was stunned. Well, to put it bluntly, it's schizophrenia. Li Fan's words made Shin anger rise. I think you're not mentally normal recently, do you want to see a psychiatrist? Endure. Shin said to herself, a little impatience will spoil the great plan. Although she was not interested in Li Fan, the competitive Shin decided to endure this and conquer him first. I don't need to see a doctor. I just feel that my attitude towards you was not very good a while ago, so I reflected on it. Shin played her acting skills, and her eyes slowly turned red. You might not know this, being a celebrity is actually very lonely. I have a very strong xenophobic mentality. I've seen a psychiatrist. Although I'm not schizophrenic, the doctor said I'm very autistic. In front of my fans, I have to force a smile. But in private, I'm afraid of coming into contact with others. The reason why I scolded you on the plane was because I really don't like having outsiders around. When other people are around, I feel very insecure. Really? Li Fan looked at Shin and found that there were tears in her eyes. She seemed to be really wronged and upset. You might not believe me when I say this. My only true friend is Lu Warner. I look forward to having friends, but I'm also afraid of interacting with others. But Li Fan, you're very special. Your appearance disrupted my life, and made my heart beat faster. So, I quite like you, really. She looked at Li Fan seriously. Although, I may be a little annoying to you. But I hope that you can give me a chance to get close to you and pursue you, okay? Chapter 991. Li Fan looked at Shin Chen's sincere eyes. Listening to her moving voice, his heart softened a little. Maybe this girl was just like what she said, full of thorns, but wrapped inside was a soft heart. But this spicy soup was really spicy. From time to time, people passed by and were surprised to see them. So Shin really fell in love with him. It's incredible. How am I worse than him? This was not the first time Li Fan had heard this kind of words. He turned a deaf ear and reluctantly finished the breakfast. Shin was wiping her eyes. Fortunately, I didn't put on smoky makeup. Shin said, otherwise, the makeup would be ruined. You're already beautiful, why do you still need makeup? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. How can that be the same? Shin did not refute that she was beautiful, even a beautiful girl must wear makeup when going out. This is a woman's etiquette. A woman without makeup is equivalent to going out naked. What kind of logic is this? A woman's logic. Shin Chen was about to say a few more words, but suddenly remembered Lu Wan's friend's reminder and quickly became gentle again. Of course. If you like me without makeup, the next time we meet, you don't have to wear makeup. It's okay, it's okay. You're fine. Li Fan quickly waved his hand, indicating that Shin Chen could do as she pleased. Also, our current relationship. If you don't like it, we can develop it step by step. Shin Chen reached out to Li Fan. Classmate Li Fan, can we be friends? Li Fan was a little surprised. This girl actually had an epiphany. It's amazing, did the sun rise from the west? Yes, of course. Li Fan couldn't wait to be friends. If they could maintain an ordinary friendship, that would be even better. But even if I explain to the media that you're just an ordinary friend, it's too late. Shin Chen said, so if I don't explain to the media, can I? Well, wait for the right opportunity. Li Fan thought for a moment. This kind of thing could only be resolved slowly by chance. It was very difficult to be a star. Shin Chen also had her own sadness, so Li Fan didn't want to embarrass her. Thank you for breakfast. Li Fan was about to clean up the lunch boxes when Shin Chen hurriedly pulled him back. How can a boy do these things? Leave it to me. You can go to military training. That's not very good, is it? It doesn't matter. Go do what you need to do. Leave this to me. Under Shin Chen's repeated urging, Li Fan could only leave first. Had Shin Chen's temperament really changed today? Not long after Li Fan went out, Shin Chen sat in the booth and sighed. There are so many things. How are we going to clean them up? Leave it to me. Let me do it. A group of boys rushed over and rushed to help Shin Chen clean up. Thank you, you're the best. Shin Chen smiled sweetly at them, and these boys immediately felt that their hearts were about to melt. They were so happy that Shin Chen actually smiled at them. They felt that their lives were worth it. Shin Chen walked out, and several boys scrambled behind her to hold an umbrella for her. Some were busy fanning themselves, for fear that Shin Chen would feel hot. Shin Chen looked at Li Fan's back as he walked away. She crossed her arms with a smug smile on her face. Humph, young man, I don't believe that you won't succumb to my skirt. In the next few days of military training, although the training intensity was still very high, Li Fan was still able to endure it. The few people in the dormitory couldn't do it. They were busy training during the day, and they were busy fighting for food in the cafeteria. At night, they were basically exhausted. They lay in bed and didn't get up, sleeping until the next day. Not knowing this, when they got up in the morning, the quilt in the dormitory had to be folded into tofu cubes, and the instructor would take time to check on them. Li Fan could still adapt to all this. The training intensity was too low for him. Every day, apart from military training, he would take the initiative to get up an hour earlier and run a few laps on the school field. His hands and feet were also tied with lead sandbags, which were used to train his physique. As a martial artist, it was definitely not enough to just train inner strength. The physique also had to be constantly trained in order to maintain the most perfect state. Why are you here too? When Li Fan came to the field early in the morning, he saw Shin Chen wearing a pink sportswear, standing beside Li Fan. Even though she was wearing sportswear, this girl's figure was still very well accentuated. The sports pants wrapped around her perky buttocks, and Li Fan almost couldn't take his eyes off her. Li Fan even suspected that he was obsessed with buttocks. Amiba, I have to stay rational. Li Fan silently said. I also want to exercise with you. Shin-chan did a few warm-up exercises, and Li Fan withdrew his gaze. Okay, it's good to exercise, but I have to run for an hour. Can you keep up? You're looking down on me. I train regularly, okay? Shin-chan said as she slightly pulled up her sports top, revealing her beautiful lower abdomen. See, this is a waistline. Do you have it? Li Fan said, this girl is too bold. Okay, then let's make a bet. Li Fan thought of Instructor Bai's request, but because he was too embarrassed to ask, he did not complete the task. What do you want to bet on? If you win, I promise you one thing. Li Fan said, but if I win, you have to give me an autograph. You want my autograph, hee hee. Shin-chan suddenly became happy. Then just say it. I will give it to you. It's not me. Why would I want that thing? Li Fan waved his hand. It's for someone else. Humph. Shin-chan seemed to be a little unhappy again, but she suppressed her unhappiness and adjusted her state of mind. Okay, since you like to bet, I'll play with you. How about winning or losing? 1 hour. If you can keep up with my pace, you win. What do you think? Hee hee, then you'll lose for sure. An hour of long-distance running was really nothing to Shin-chan. Usually, she would wake up 2 hours early for her run. Running for more than 40 minutes could burn fat. After running for 2 hours, the soreness in her body would be discharged, and she would be drenched in sweat. It was very comfortable. To Shin-chan, this was just a piece of cake. I'll definitely work hard. Shin-chan originally wanted to show off, but she thought about what the male suitor said, that she must give a man face outside. So, she changed her words. You have to give in to me. Okay, okay. Li Fan nodded, then lifted his feet and began his daily routine with a hidden weight of 40 kilograms. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.